It's already been an amazing weekend. Yesterday had some of the best gameplay we've seen, and today we have another stacked lineup, 5 matches coming your way from the OGN Super Arena in sunny Southern California. Hi, welcome to Clash Royale League. I'm Rich Slayton. That's Andrew Guy. I hope you have on your Sunday best. Obviously, we have dressed up for the occasion, and we are super excited to bring you 5 matches today. But before we get to the action, let's take a moment and remind you about our league format.
Yes, it's the same format we've had all season long. We started off with our 2v2 set, the first set, teamwork, if you will. Following that is the best of 5 King of the Hill set. 3 players from each team come out. Each player has 1 life. And lastly, with the 1v1, the tiebreaker set, where neither the 2v2 competitors are eligible to play in that tiebreaker set.
For those of you who were around here yesterday, you might have seen some wild results. 3 teams with losing records, adding a win to their current win-loss record. And that's huge because now the middle of the pack is getting insanely crowded.
Yeah, and these are 2 teams coming up that are right in the middle. But let's start off with Complexity in first place at 6-1. Right behind them is Pain Gaming at 5-2. Following that, in 3rd and 4th place are Fnatic and Immortals after taking that loss. Tribe Gaming 3-3 in 5th place, going up against 6th place SK that is also at 3-3, working in the middle of the standings. We see Cream Esports also at 3-3, right behind them in 7th. Team Queso and Team Liquid both tied at 3 and 4 in 8th and 9th. And as we make our way to the back end, we've got 10th, 11th, and 12th. Dignitas, Misfits, and Energy, 2 and 4 for Dignitas, and of course Misfits and Energy both at 2 and 5.
And as you can see at the moment, everyone is still in the hunt, and if things continue as they are, we might even see a team with a 5-6 record make it into that top 6. So no one's out yet. Everyone's still making their case to go to Xi'an, China for the World Cyber Games, where they'll face off against their CRL Asia and CRL China counterparts. And today, 5 or 10 more teams make their case to go across the Pacific Ocean. Let's head into our match schedule for this beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, these matches are going to be absolutely nuts. We've got SK and Tribe kicking off number 5 and number 6. Following that is Cream Esports and Dignitas, both teams really trying to pull away in very different directions. We got Complexity and Pain Gaming, number 1 going up against number 2. Following that, SK in a doubleheader going against Immortals. And to close out our day, it's the cheesy ones going up against Cream Esports.
First up, though, it's 2 teams currently sitting right in the middle, as my teammate Andrew said. Tribe Gaming and SK, both of which have had their ups and downs, and a win here will definitely put them in the hunt for those top 6 spots.
Yeah, looking at that 3-3 from both sides. So as these teams make their way to the floor, a lot on the line here, and it would be absolutely crazy to see a 5-6 team make it, and these are definitely 2 teams that are really trying to get in that top 6.
Well, you've had the 2v2 play of Tribe, and then some fantastic solo performances come out, in particular that great sweep by Jay Monty. On the other hand, you have SK Gaming, who looked like at the top of their last day out when they had that doubleheader, looked like they were about to go 4-2, and then fell in their final match of the day to Misfits, kind of a shocker there, and now find themselves even on the season.
Yeah, 2 very King of the Hill, or 2 very different King of the Hill stories. Tommy sweeping Team Liquid in their last match. Tommy at the top, Jay Monty, Spades, Nitram, and B-Rad. Of course, only 4 of those players allowed to be active for today, so we'll have to see who sits on the bench. Most likely going to be Spades, someone who we've only seen twice here at CRL West this season, and their opponents. Who will it be today, Rich?
SK Gaming, when you know the 4 that are coming out, OP Sam, Sergio Ramos, So King, and Morton. The question, as always, going to be who goes 2v2 versus who is reserved for the 1v1. We've seen 2 squads, of course, OP Sam and Morton, or Sergio Ramos and So King as the pairs. So we're going to head into 2v2 and find out who will be sent up to open up the day for SK, opposite most likely B-Rad and Jay Monty. Heading into 2v2, and no big surprises here. B-Rad and Jay Monty out for Tribe, and looking like SK choosing to go with the German duo Morton and OP Sam.
Yeah, we were just looking over some of our notes, and Tribe has not lost a 2v2 set this season, regardless of who came out. However, they have not really been able to translate that success over into their actual match record of 3-3. You'd think with every single set going your way, the first set, excuse me, going your way, that you would have a bit better of a standing at this point.
Well, but also on the other side of that, think of how important this 2v2 is. Without those 2v2 victories, where might Tribe be at this stage of the season? And not just undefeated in 2v2 as a set record. J-Monty and B-Rad are 10-2 in games.
Yeah, that's absurd.
So Magic Archer making one of his rare appearances, this time in 2v2 with this Ram Rider deck. And, you know, getting the idea, Andrew, might be trying to get some shots on those defensive buildings.
Yeah, and again, if you at home do not know, if you just play the Magic Archer one tile offset to the center, according to which lane, or excuse me, to which tile your opponent. So, for instance, right now, if you played the Magic Archer one tile offset to the right, it would hit that Prince and hit the tower if the Baby Dragon wasn't there.
Magic Archer all about that geometry, and both squads going today with Ram Rider, although a Ram Rider EQ from B-Rad and J-Monty, and Ram Rider Magic Archer from SK, so two interesting variations on themes we've already seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and few things are more satisfying than getting that Magic Archer connection just way back behind all the troops up front, just chipping away at the tower. Very effective.
You know, Andrew, I would be a little surprised if they do start stacking that Magic Archer at the river just with all the spell value it could give.
Yeah.
We'll see what kind of choices SK makes. I did get some ideas from Kavalifar, from the coach for SK, that they'd be doing some different stuff, and this obviously is a little different.
Yeah, and this is definitely a team you want to do something different against, since they've had so much success against what has kind of proven to be the 2v2 meta this season. SK would be doing themselves a favor to switch things up. And a misclick NATO by J-Monty.
Very, very rough. You see him shaking his head there. Ah, come on, man. Didn't mean to do that.
And J-Monty sticking to his fashion, laughing at himself on the stands instead of getting upset with himself. And that's a very important difference.
And here you see, this is what I expect to see SK Gaming doing with this Magic Archer. Rather than playing at the river like you might in a 1v1 game, playing here in the middle and trying to get on those towers.
And that Prince is barely picked up by the Giant Skeleton. Very last second.
So nice work by B-Rad and J-Monty to play the Inferno Tower to the opposite side of the Magic Archer, out of range, and that Musketeer takes care of it. So they are in the lead as we head into sudden death overtime. So far, SK has not found a way through. The difference maker has been this Earthquake.
Yeah, and shockingly enough, that 3 Elixir misclick by Tribe is basically a non-factor. As you see, they came back handedly in damage on that top right tower and has been able to keep up their defense despite losing some Elixir.
Tribe keeping the pressure on. SK trying to fight back in.
Ram Rider gets in front of the Lumberjack.
And a defensive freeze does not pick up the first Ram Rider, so now second Ram Rider will get to tower, plus the Dark Prince and the Baby Dragon.
That is a lot coming in, a huge, huge assault by SK on that bottom left tower. However, a lot less HP on their top right as we head to 2 minutes left of overtime.
They are still slightly ahead in Elixir. And look at that, playing the Inferno Tower way over now, trying to not make it as easy to get value on that Earthquake.
Inferno Tower comes down to defend against this Lumberjack. Ram Rider push. Lumberjack.
Prince not going to get picked up on the right-hand lane, does connect.
And they're just going to ignore the Prince, allow the Musketeer to do a bit of damage. Once again, the NATO not being that effective. And all of a sudden, SK finds themselves in the lead.
2 tornado plays, 1 a total misplay, 1 just not quite what they wanted. And as you said, Andrew, suddenly SK Gaming roaring back into this one.
And the other thing is that SK has really figured out how to play this defense. The EQ hasn't been coming down as often for Tribe.
That freeze does not pay off, so the spell work on the part of Tribe not doing great. Prince going to the right-hand side, dash. The charge does get on tower.
Prince on the tower, that is going to do it.
Woo! SK Gaming gets back in it after falling way behind, and you got to think that B-Rad and J-Monty would love both those tornadoes back.
Yeah, you said it perfectly there. And the other thing is that on the bottom left-hand tower, the Ram Rider was about to take it. So 2 big misplays cost Tribe the first game of this 2v2 set.
And while it didn't pay off for Tribe this time around, Andrew, I really am a bit surprised we've seen so little Earthquake in 2v2, considering how many Inferno Towers we've seen.
And to be honest, it probably would have paid off without those two NATO's misplays. It definitely, the one didn't do exactly what they wanted, and as you said, the other one was just a complete waste. But, you know, EQ popped up a decent amount in week 1 in 2v2, and it was pretty successful.
So what changes might be made? We are seeing a flying machine out of SK, so really a different look from the Germans.
And what was interesting about EQ kind of falling out of the 2v2 meta was the fact that you started seeing Ram Rider come in so much more than any buildings. However, now that Inferno Tower has become basically a staple in 2v2, maybe now's the time for EQ to work its way back in.
An interesting behind the tower split from SK Gaming. Baby Dragon does get one Belch on the right-hand side. So first minute away, and things pretty close to even. Miner picked up by the Lumberjack.
And the Miner, coincidentally, actually stops the Dart Goblin at the river.
And we see Magic Archer again out of SK Gaming, so... And it's Royal Hogs.
And you see their Tribe forced to play the Mega Minion high to take care of the Magic Archer while those Hogs just wreak havoc on the tower.
This is a really, really fun day. Fun way to start our day, Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah, these decks are, it's nice. It's nice to see something different and something different that works.
So Ram Rider getting across, and now we see a freeze. Snowball comes behind to slow down that Ram Rider. Barb Barrel might do enough. There we go. So at the moment, SK Gaming looking pretty good, but they are way behind on Elixir.
Yeah, and a completely ignored flying machine on the left-hand lane by Tribe.
Now Tribe loading up with a big Giant Skeleton Ram Rider Dark Prince push.
Lightning comes down. I was going to say a poison has to come down for Tribe. There's so much value on the field. Flying Machine's going to walk into it. Not going to take it out, but definitely going to help.
Miner to the outside. Musketeer takes care of that fairly easily, but down to 1188 is the right-hand tower of Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, Tribe finding themselves in new grounds today.
And Hogs coming in again.
Yep. Dark Prince there to meet. Splash damage hitting 3, but not 4. Magic Archer on the tower again. That's exactly what we're talking about. Look at that. 732 on the bottom. Just under 1,400 at the top.
Here we go. Sudden death overtime. Can Tribe find some other way around? Or will this be SK's day to unseat our 2v2 leaders?
I think so, Rich. They just need another Lightning and a couple more spells. Maybe they can circle back around to Lightning again, but SK has been playing stellar defense and keeping up the pressure on Tribe. And you see there Jay Monty very frustrated. He recognizes this is over.
There you have it. SK Gaming ends the perfect run of Tribe in 2v2 and heads into King of the Hill with a very important advantage.
SK just gave Tribe as many losses in a 2v2 set as they've experienced all season long. So OP Sam and Morton now 4-2 in sets in 2v2 with that big cushion moving to King of the Hill. So Tommy coming out today after a big King of the Hill sweep over Team Liquid where he took down Surgical Goblin, Canario, and Buffmac, going up against Soaking, who he did not see in his last match. Prior to that, he had lost to Thunderstruck in King of the Hill.
Yay. Tommy has been playing very well as of late, as my co-host just mentioned, and you know, he started off maybe a little up and down and has sewn things up as we move into the midway point of the season.
Is this the first time we've seen Princess this season?
It's really possible. I'd have to go through the 360-something odd decks that we've seen played so far. Sorry, almost 400 decks we've seen played so far.
I think it is, which I'm excited about. Protect your princess, man.
Or save the princess, depending on what game you're playing.
Yeah, true. We'll see if it pays off for Tommy today. Tommy's known for playing all decks, all types of metas.
And for those of you keeping score at home, Tommy will be followed by Nitram and Jay Monty if necessary. Soking has Sergio Ramos and Morton behind him.
Pekka meeting that Hog Rider, so we've seen this deck a lot in the past. This, I believe, what is it, 3.0 Hog Cycle deck, something around there?
I mean, Hog Mini Pekka Princess is so old school. I remember last year some players talking about someone who ran Hog Mini Pekka and kind of laughing about that as still being a thing, like it was old-fashioned.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and that Bandit does get a big dash in for Soking. Decides to go forward instead of back towards the Hog, but the Hog gets a big swing in on that top left tower.
So lots of options to kite for Tommy against both this Dark Prince and, more importantly, that Pekka.
And a very nice pickup. Shocked, actually, the splash damage is not hitting the Princess there. Really well played by Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, protect the Princess, as you said. The other half of this, though, is that Mini Pekka beautiful play.
Look at that. He's doing such a great job protecting her, and that is such a frustrating thing to happen when you're going up against it.
Another part of it, though, Andrew, as I was saying, was that Mini Pekka is a great response to the Battle Ram. So you got to wonder if maybe this was some good planning on the part of Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, and as soon as that Pekka comes down on either lane, you figure you're going to punish the opposite with the Hog. So both those units might be held at bay for a while. Another Princess down. The only option to take out the Princess for Soking is the poison.
You don't want to spend a poison on that necessarily. That's a lot of commitment just for a Princess.
Yep. Tommy giving a well-played out, and that's exactly what we said. The Hog going opposite lane, Pekka being played in the other side. So now maybe a kite with the Pekka over with the Ice Golem.
There we go. Cycling fairly well as Tommy.
I was going to say, he should be able to get both those Princesses with the poison. Very well played by Soking. Log cycle coming out for Tommy.
And look at that play, just getting the Hog and Mini Pekka down almost the exact same time.
Ice Spirit coupled with that shot of the Princess does a lot of work on those minions.
Forced out the Dark Prince to save the tower.
Ice Golem going to pull both units to the center.
Mini Pekka there, back in cycle.
Tommy playing very well, but not able to get the Battle Ram before connecting to the tower. Mama Pekka just looks kind of lost on the map.
I mean, the speed with which Tommy can get back around, it's a pretty fast cycle deck.
Yeah.
It's only 8 to get back around at the quickest cycle.
Ice Spirit going to stop that Prince. Does take out the Princess.
And Princess just in time for those minions.
Yeah, Tommy, this deck is so fun to play. The difference here is that there's a lightning in as opposed to I can't remember what used to be in it. Maybe a fireball. Oh, look at that. That is going to do it.
Wow. Wow, Princess gets one final shot, and Tommy opens up by taking out Soking.
What a fun deck to see show up at CRL West, and what a great job by Tommy.
And now at this point for Tommy, that's 10 different total archetypes that he's addressed, not to mention overall deck variance. Continues to be unpredictable, whereas Sergio Ramos making another appearance here, he's played a lot of Balloon Cycle, and a decent amount of Lava Hound.
Yeah, you hear players talk about, yeah, I can play any archetype. I'm good with any deck. Tommy is a true master with every archetype out there.
Well, it's one of those things where Tommy is very good mechanically, so he's able to sort of just rotate through decks. It's not like he knows one deck with every single possible interaction. It's just that he knows the game overall very well.
Yeah, and you saw that last game, his ability to kite and protect his Princess and switch lanes, creating pressure with the Hog. You saw the lightning, aggressive lightning come down at the end there, making room for that big last Hog hit. Very, very, very talented player.
So Sergio Ramos looking like some more bridge spam. Tommy really mixing things up today. Furnace Ewiz Miner.
Yeah. Which we've seen, you know, Miners paired with Royal Giants, Lava Hounds.
Bandit at the bridge, doesn't get a dash off, and will actually go to a Fire Spirit, so perfect timing from Tommy. Action slowing down just a little bit here, and it is Miner Balloon with Furnace and Ewiz.
Fascinating. And that is going to be a great counter for that Balloon. The Ewiz played up high to try to stop the charge and meet these minions. Very well played by Tommy.
So 2 constructions we have not seen before debuted by Tommy in this King of the Hill.
I love it. I love it.
And she will always get a dash off. You could break both the Bandit's legs, throw her into a safe, chain it up, put it at the bottom of the ocean, and she would still get a dash.
And those dashes are so, so devastating. Nice pickup on the Miner there by Sergio with the Dark Prince. Sergio feeling confident playing the P.E.K.K.A. in the back. We'll see if Tommy decides to punish or play defense.
Well, Sergio has plenty of elixir right now. Gets the Ewiz behind the P.E.K.K.A. and still back up to 8 already.
Barbarians coming down. Very, very fascinating. Poison, yep, poison in response. Ooh. There we go by Sergio. A lot to deal with in a very little bit of time. That poison is ticking away. All the Barbarians gone.
Ewiz gets down with the Ice Golem in front of it, so very, very well played on defense by Tommy. We are heading into sudden death overtime, and things pretty much all tied up.
Yeah, we've got 1 tower below 2,000 HP on the entire board.
And the double Furnace on the right-hand side starting to really clog up that lane. Bandit gets a dash off, but still, that's going to be super annoying for Sergio Ramos to deal with.
Yeah, P.E.K.K.A. on the right. Ram Rider, a great counter to that Balloon. You see Tommy there taking a sigh of frustration, knowing that his Balloon is not going to even get close to that tower. 5 elixir in hand to deal with this P.E.K.K.A. A great kite to lead into the Barbarians.
Oh no! But the Fire Spirits change the trajectory of that P.E.K.K.A., demanding that the Miner comes out.
And you see the Miner being played high as opposed to in the middle to get the P.E.K.K.A. to turn around. And now a P.E.K.K.A. at the river. This could be the moment where Tommy is going to be in a lot of trouble. Ram Rider behind the Dark Prince that is behind the P.E.K.K.A.
Oh, wow. Giant Snowball comes in. Ram Rider will connect.
Poison probably going to come down. Nope.
Sergio Ramos just hit 4 elixir, so deciding discretion's the better part of Valor. Even if he had poison, putting it down there would leave him thirsting.
Yep. And now he plays it that he's got to 10 again. Going to chip away at the weaker tower. And Tommy there protects his Furnace.
So choosing to split barbs now, making sure that there's at least something in both lanes.
Ewa is going to stay behind this push coming in. A big, big push coming down for Tommy.
The Ewiz, Ram Rider together just make it so hard for that Balloon to find any way through. Although Giant Snowball making some room. That Balloon's gonna get the tower.
That Balloon is gonna get on. 1 big drop. Sergio knows it's game over. Look at that.
Tommy does it again. A fascinating deck, a fascinating play, and how often can we say it, Andrew? Balloon will just sneak through. Just really brilliant deck construction from Tommy so far. Mixing things up, being unpredictable. And look, Sergio Ramos made a slight change, bringing the Dark Prince and P.E.K.K.A. out together.
Yeah.
But just left him with not enough to play against that Balloon in the long term.
Yeah, and I'd love to keep talking, Rich, but there's a mortar on the field, so I'm going to be checking out for the next few minutes.
And an immediate mortar lock should get 2 shots off. There it goes.
Yep, you see, so probably going to be Royal Hogs Rocket. Tommy immediately goes, okay, I know what I'm up against.
And Hogs go directly into the opposite lane from the Lava Hound.
Yep, nothing in Morton's deck to really just take out those minions, so he has to stop his push in its tracks.
A nice early chunk of damage, and Balloon opposite lane behind the minions.
So maybe, yeah, he's not got enough for the rocket, so maybe Archer. Oh, wow, a nice mortar comes down by by Morton.
Cycled back very well to get that defense down. And Morton comes out on top for that first exchange.
Yeah, very, very well played with those Royal Hogs. Great defense. Tommy frustrated. You see him kind of telling himself, calm down. It's okay. Morten 3-3 in King of the Hills so far.
So Tommy goes off meta back-to-back and then comes out with a deck you've probably all played against frustratingly too many times, Lavaloon.
Yeah, and I'm so bad against and with Lavaloon. It's my least favorite archetype, and then your favorite, Expo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, it is the greatest card ever invented.
Although that new Get Over Here card could be pretty cool.
Who knows?
I have no idea. That's just sheer speculation, but I'm hoping it's something like that. A great fireball coming in here to clean up the Rascal Girls.
That was excellent timing, and now forces out two responses from Morten. And
Nice.
Balloon right behind. Perfectly timed mortar from Morten, keeping it high, and does not get target on tower. Well played with the tombstone by Tommy.
Yeah, Morten has a lot of responses to the balloon with the snowball, the Rascal Girls, the mortar, obviously, and of course there's got to be a rocket as that 8th card. Fireball comes down, just ending those Royal Hogs.
Yeah, so for Tommy, there's, he has the combination of Tombstone and Fireball for those Royal Hogs, but so far the Tombstone's been necessary for picking up those mortar pushes.
Yeah, as you see right here. Balloon gonna come down, take out that mortar. Mortar does not get a shot on tower, although a second mortar comes into play.
And Tommy's not super happy about that Fireball.
Nope. Got a little overzealous there, and Morten caught him looking.
And these high mortars to the inside, both pulling the balloon and getting occasional tower locks, are really making a difference for the German.
Yeah, and honestly, Morten could just cycle out with Rocket. 432 HP is what it takes away. And now maybe another mortar shot will come in. There we go, mortar shot in. All he needs is one hit from those Hogs. 2 hits, there we are. Rocket's gonna come down and take this.
Tommy knows it's over. Morten keeps his team on the hill. Currently the king takes down Tommy after 2 excellent plays by the Nicaraguan. So Nitram comes out for Tribe Gaming against Morten, and even though Tribe does have 2 games in hand, it still feels like a lot of weight on the young man's shoulders.
Yeah, Nitram showing up in half of the matches so far for Tribe. Cycles some Skellies in the back to start, and so does Morten.
So maybe Morten running the same thing back. Nope, looks like it's gonna be Hog Earthquake.
Hog does get 1 swing in.
This has been a great weekend for seeing some changes, and here we go. It's gonna be the Zappy's Graveyard.
Yeah, very, very interesting deck here.
And that Graveyard getting a lot of damage.
A lot of damage in, and the Prince stopped just in time.
But first chunk taken. Nice opening for Nitram. You see Morten eye checks the camera, takes a deep breath, and resets.
Morten here trying to shut the door on Tribe with Nitram and Jaymonty standing in his way. Nitram just wants to get to that 1v1 set.
Morten does have a win already with the Hog Earthquake deck. That time he played the Valkyrie, did not play the Valkyrie version. And Nitram going with the Graveyard Sparking. Splitting those Zappies. Morten playing Graveyard Muskie, so we'll see if he can get that Graveyard to reverse tank for the Musketeer, as you often go for with this deck.
Musketeer distracted by the Inferno Tower, then picked up by the Bar Barrel. Just below 1,500 HP on Morten's left-hand tower, and Morten has got both of Nitram's towers down to 2270. And the stun.
Wow.
So well played. We've seen it work against the Royal Giant, now marvelously against the Hog. And the word I was just trying to say was marvelously.
Marvelously. I got you. So final minute of regulation, and Nitram again going with the Graveyard, and Hog Rider trying to get in, does get 1 swing.
So we got double Prince Graveyard from Nitram, and Hog EQ from Morton. Not really finding a place or opportunity to use his EQ.
This double Prince Graveyard deck currently sitting at 50-50 over 2 games. This specific version with the Zappies.
Zappy does not reset the tower, however, does tank for the Prince. And the Prince does get a big stab in on that top, 2 big stabs in on that top right tower.
Here we go, sudden death overtime, graveyarding directly into a completely healthy Valkyrie.
That is never ideal.
Yeah, seems like an interesting choice, but still gets a significant amount of damage.
Yep.
You know, Valkyrie's attack speed being slower than it was in the past makes her, you know, there was a time when Valkyrie appeared pretty much everywhere. She was almost the Dark Prince of her day.
Yeah. Yeah, now, you know, if the Valkyrie just targets the wrong skeletons at the beginning and works its way to the back side or front side of the tower and the rest of the skeletons spawn on the other side, just not as effective as she used to be. And another very effective graveyard coming in for Nitram.
Wow, and you can see right there, that's the difference.
Now Morton has a lot of work to do for his team.
Plays the Earthquake, does get a Hog Rider shot, does get a second one, so now back in this. Only about 300 HP separating these two.
Barbell does not aggro the Prince, but it does stop everything else in its tracks at the river. No skeleton hits this time.
And that worked out very well for SK Gaming, and this Hog Rider with the EQ will get a shot, and now suddenly Morton's in the lead.
How quickly this Hog Rider deck can do that. Just one of the times the Hog Rider breaks through and is getting tanked for, or at least gets more than one swing in, and all of a sudden you find yourself behind.
The poison comes down finally for Nitram, and suddenly this is a big swing. Not quite there yet.
216 is exactly how much poison does at tournament standard, so Nitram needs to get just back around.
And Graveyard comes down.
Gotta have that offense-defense going on.
Poison comes down.
That is
As that Barbarian hits, though, if the EQ comes in, Snowball, maybe,
the EQ
just barely steals it!
Oh my goodness!
One Barbarian just toddles along to the tower, takes a swing, EQ tips just in time, and you can see—
And look at the coach right now. Kavalifar is so proud of Morton. I don't think anyone in this room can believe what happened. I can't believe what just happened. Just wow. That was unbelievable. We just have to look at it again. That's the only thing that we can do right now is look at it again. That tower was at 216 HP. That's what a poison does. Rich, break down what happened here.
You know, I think it's the Graveyard on offense. It was unnecessary, and he didn't have anything to stop that one Barbarian enough to get that last tick in, and that's going to be it. I really am curious about what was in his hand at that moment and why the Graveyard came out.
And the Graveyard could have been the cycle card, but it's a 5 elixir cycle card. There's got to be a better card to cycle. Whatever it may have been, that was an astounding display by Morton. Now Jay Monty comes out to try to keep his team alive, and Jay Monty's been 5-2 in King of the Hill.
Jay Monty has played so well this season, both in mixing his 2v2 and his King of the Hill performances. Overall, now I believe at 17 and, or actually today with the losses, at 15-6 on the season in games.
Yeah. And a very surprising 2 losses in a row. Morton says, good game already. So he must not be happy about the matchup, because Morton doesn't seem like the type to just call it like that because he's so confident in himself, although I could be wrong.
Well, Hog EQ is going to have some challenges against Goblin Giant Sparky, which has been the deck of the year, and we're seeing right now some solid defense out of the German.
Yeah, the only reason I laugh is because you can play perfect defense for 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and then all of a sudden that Sparky gets to tower and just ruins your day. Nice Hog played, kite those guards. We'll get another swing in on this tower.
Yeah, if Morton can keep the pace up in single elixir and get a significant enough lead, that could be the way. You know, not dissimilar to how you play 2.6, trying to get ahead of this heavier deck.
Yeah, you need to get a lot of damage in on single elixir, but you can never overcommit because let's say you stick to one lane the whole time. Oh, Jay Monty talking to the official here. Not sure what he's saying. We can see on the camera there at the bottom that his screen is still live.
I guess he was saying, hey, watch this. Hog opposite lane. Not much there for the response.
Snowball comes in, allows 3 big hits in. Jay Monty sneaks that Gob Giant right in front of the Sparky. Some Skellies to surround. There we are.
And so far, taking easy care of this deck. Morten keeping the pressure on.
Yep, should get another big hit in. Maybe 2 now with that Snowball. There we are, 784 on the left-hand tower. Jay Monty feeling the heat.
And Morten now very close to doing a full reverse sweep in King of the Hill.
Yeah, it took a decent amount of damage on the left-hand tower from the Lumberjack, but opts to go right. Will he Skelly surround again? Yes, he doesn't have to, but they do come down now that the Zap is out of cycle.
Fireball in, the Barbarian goes just a little bit long. Musketeer will get a shot on tower.
1104, 784. But Morten is having to go to the stronger tower now.
Yeah, Jay Monty just doing the right thing, keeping that Sparky on the left-hand side, not really giving an opening for that Hog Rider to come in.
And I love the play of the guards over the Goblin Giant, doing a better amount of work. Oh, look at that! Doesn't quite get it off. That is exactly what this deck does to you, and that was about as close as it gets.
Sparky's up again, does Jay Monty.
Morten must have ice in his veins. He didn't even flinch.
Hog Rider coming in, Lumberjack in response, should get 1 swing.
Yep.
And that's all he needs is 1 swing at a time.
And as soon as these towers get even, yep, now we're seeing the dual lane pressure that does very much succeed with this giant Goblin Giant Sparky deck.
And look at that, minions getting in as well to help out with that Inferno Tower. 1 skeleton survives on that surround, so Sparky really, really well dealt with by Morten.
I'm so impressed by that defense.
And now Morten comes in Hog again.
Yeah, able to go to the weaker tower. EQ comes down, will get 1 big hit in, 337 on the tower.
Nice fireball, does not get both archers though.
That is a bit of a misplay in a very crucial moment.
Sparky in the left-hand lane one more time. Earthquake to slow it down.
Oh, but the bar barrel is enough to hit the Valkyrie as well, so maybe not the best use of the bar barrel. 98 HP on that tower. Jay Monty very, very frustrated. Just need another Earthquake to come down for Morten.
And there you go, 1 tick, 2 ticks, that is it. Morten with the reverse sweep. It's Morten 3 up, 3 down to close things out in 2 straight sets for SK Gaming.
Yeah, Tommy, Nitram, Jay Monty all falling to the German. Morten, who is now 6-3 in King of the Hill, and he takes down the unbeatable Goblin Giant Sparky deck on his way.
And you see Jay Monty coming off the tower, so I don't know if we're actually going to be protesting. He's walking straight to the handshake, so that is going to be it. SK Gaming takes a big win. They came in a little nervous on the day, but play beautifully, and a big part of that was Morten. The clean sweep in 2v2, and then the reverse sweep in King of the Hill. I hope the tall man has a back brace because he's got to be feeling that weight today.
5-0 on games for the day, and now Morten and SK in 6th place take down Tribe in 5th, and this could be a huge match as we get to the end of our season. You know, we talk about set and game differentials, but falling to a team that is 1 position ahead of you, that is not where you want to be.
But then talking about set differentials, getting the 2-set sweep, so important, and talking about how tight everything is. With people being tied in the middle, sets will probably determine some of the placement in our top 6.
Definitely, and what looked like was going to be an amazing day for Tribe and Tommy, maybe pushing to that 3rd and final set. Morten says no, so we are going to do what? Go down and talk to SK on the floor with Seltzer.
Thanks, guys. SK Gaming's got a long history in esports of absolutely crushing it, and today was no different. Morten, you did a lot of the work for the team today, both in the 2v2 and in King of the Hill, coming in with a reverse sweep. That last game against Jay Monty, very exciting. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was pretty close. He played Goblin Giant Sparky. I don't really like this matchup. I don't like to play against Sparky, but I think I managed to play it pretty good, and yeah, so I won.
What was your toughest matchup so far today?
I think the game against Nitan was pretty tough because he played pretty well, and I know he's pretty good with the stack, and was pretty close at the end, so I think he was like the toughest opponent in King of the Hill.
What was the moment you were sure you were going to win against Nitram?
I think I was never like pretty sure that I'm going to win like the last couple of seconds. I knew like I have to cycle back to my Earthquake, but I didn't even like really know if he finished before me, so it was pretty close.
And what were you feeling after doing so well in the 2v2? You took out that was the first defeat for this team that you handed them. Then you got called into action again. So what was going through your mind?
I was pretty confident because after the 2v2, I think Sam and me played pretty good, and I always like to play 1v1, and I think like I knew I can reverse sweep them, but I didn't expect that. But yeah, I tried my best and it worked out.
Why do you think we're starting to see decks change at this point in the tournament? We're seeing a little more creativity out of players and a little more fast and loose on the game board.
I think it's like more to try to counter the opponents. Like we saw like a lot of games like the opponents played, and we try to like build decks around some cards to counter them, and so that's why I think like it's important to build decks.
Well, last question for you on the topic of building decks. What is it like in the war room for SK Gaming right now? What are you working on?
It's different. Like we still to improve like our 2v2 decks, because like we try to counter like the meta decks and the 1v1 too. So that's how it is.
Well, thank you so much for the insights. Congratulations once again on the victory. Now let's send it back up to the casters to take a closer look at that match.
Thanks a lot, Rachel. And you know, Morten kind of talking about a big theme is trying to counter, and we've seen that more and more with some of those crazy snipes, but then also just some construction. I wonder if that might have been what Tommy was going for with those first two decks.
Yeah, and it honestly looked like it was going to be a sweep for Tommy and King of the Hill, and you saw the reverse sweep by Morten, but that's something a lot of teams have talked about, saying there's no bans, there's not really any way to strategize or pin opponents on decks, but you've seen it happen a handful of times here in CRL West, so I don't actually believe that that's true.
You know, it's the big thing is not just that, but also how the crazy variety.
Yeah.
So now we're getting from that decks we've never seen before and crazy action, and there's more of it coming your way. Up next, Cream against Dignitas. The battle for the middle continues. Cream Esports facing off against a Dignitas that now has 2 wins on the season.
Yeah, and we are very, very excited here at the OGN Super Arena to see what Cream comes out with today. Codigo and Luke Dubs are officially active on their roster. I know. And for a team that has struggled so much in the 2v2 set in Cream, they've only won that set 1 time. Luke Dubs should be here to save them, being known as a 2v2 specialist.
So let's head down to the stage as we welcome our teams and our 2 new players into the OGN Super Arena.
Yeah, a lot to be proven in this match. Now, there's almost more on the line for Cream now that they have their full active roster. If they struggle today as they have previously this season, what does that say about this stacked roster?
That will be a big question to answer. So a lot of people picking Cream for a pretty big win today, but Dignitas feeling ready, feeling good. They had a solid performance their last time out, but this is a different Cream they're facing with the full, you see it, 6 names. They arrived here in a clown car. Lince, Diego E, Jose Brian Flash, Codigo, and Luke Dubs.
Yeah, an army of players wearing black, red, and white. And of course, their opponents. On the other side, red team today, we've got Frost, Blaze, Oxlade, and Eddie, and I'm expecting that we see Tilted Eddie and Blaze come out in that 2v2 set once again.
They've been playing well there, so why not keep them in the set? Keep everyone comfortable, especially since they have the improved Cream roster here in front of them. You don't want to make any changes, throw people off. Let's get into it. 2v2, let's go. Heading down to the floor, we'll see what Cream Esports has for today, and take a look at that. A nice little shift. As you called it, Andrew, Luke Dubs in 2v2 with Jose Brian.
Yeah, we got a little assist from our Spanish-speaking counterparts once again telling me about the experience of Luke Dubs in the 2v2 set and how they've been told that if he is on a team, he can lift the gameplay of his partner exponentially.
And Eddie Blaze, top of your screen, going Golem versus Lava Hound.
Golem meets that Inferno Tower. Zap comes in.
defensive poison will clean up those support troops, and that's a ton of damage on the right-hand side by Cream, and nothing out of that for Dignitas.
Yeah, an absolutely insane first exchange by Cream. Fun fact for you at home, Rich and I have a higher ladder score than Jose Brian.
Yeah, but he also has that 20-win challenge badge.
Don't ruin this for me, Rich.
Some guys just don't push ladder,
Yeah.
and Jose Brian's one of them. Instead, he just crushes challenges and plays against plays well against
CRL.
world-class players. Yeah.
Yeah. No Inferno Tower this time to meet the Golem, so Golem will get a decent amount of damage in on that tower. Miner going to come behind.
Ooh, I do like that Miner behind, and now Prince to support as well.
That Miner is just now tanking for the Golemites, but getting a lot of damage in first. Finally, the NATO comes down.
Yeah, that NATO does get in there, but damage done, 849. So Dignitas going to lose their top right-hand tower, but they have to feel good about their chances in the left-hand lane.
Yeah, they need to make sure that they defend very, very well here on the left-hand side now that they've just sacrificed the right and use that elixir advantage that they've gained.
And Golem in front of the Princess Tower. Prince to push. Getting that Golem on his horse, but nothing to get in the way. Oh, Prince almost snuck through. Guards got it.
Yep, Guards got it. Nothing on the Inferno Tower, so Inferno will do work against the Golem, as will those poisons. Doing work in general for Dignitas.
Double poison for Dig, and now they're in a good spot. 30 seconds left. Have to make sure they finish off those with the spell damage.
Yeah, very, very nice defense there played by Dignitas. They should be able to even this match up.
But once they even it up, they will end up being behind unless they can get stuff in front of them. Right now, I see they have to play that poison on pretty much nothing from a troop perspective.
And the Miner, this is going to be a big moment. If the Miner gets picked up, they need to send in the second poison.
Boy, Miner to the inside, a little predictable. Will it tick fast enough? Yes, just barely. We are going to sudden death.
And now losing that 8 elixir at the end of regulation could be huge.
Absolutely massive. And you saw that Dignitas went inside with the Miner just like they did previously. And you gotta imagine that Cream was looking at game tape.
Maybe even listen to some commentary.
Yeah, but they're probably listening to Koji and Manu.
That is very fair. Maybe an Inferno to pull to the side. Nope, goes inside. Nice defense there by Cream.
Miner to the outside, but Dark Prince staying alive long enough to help out on defense.
So about 200 HP separating these two, or $150.
And now just Golems continuously on the inside.
NATO to the King. I don't know how I feel about the naked Golem in the pocket, but to each their own.
Lightning comes out for Cream, and now they have a pretty significant push coming down.
Now the moment is if Dignitas can defend this very well and create a healthy counter push, then they can Golem in the pocket and support all these troops. But not the case. Baby Dragon on the tower.
Cream leading on that left-hand tower. Dignitas needs to find a way through. This time they Golem safe.
Going towards the Princess Tower of Cream.
So trying to split up some of those support troops so they cannot get behind the Lava Hound. Skeletons high and Skeletons in the pocket. Don't know about the Skeletons in the pocket. Baby Dragon takes care of them pretty well, but now Miner to the back.
Yeah, maybe trying to pick up that Inferno Tower, but not the case.
But this worked out pretty well for Dignitas.
Yeah.
Playing that right-hand lane and not letting the defense turn into offense for Cream.
And they go for a very high aggressive Golem. That Mega Minion is very much ill-advised, but I think it is actually, excuse me, that was a very good Mega Minion. It's the tank for the Inferno Tower because Cream keeps going in the same spot.
So this time Cream holds fast and strong. Still slightly ahead, although Golemites could change that story.
There we go, 1298 to 1253. 22 seconds left in regulation. We may have a draw on our hands, Rich.
Yeah, unless Dignitas makes some major error here, that should be a draw. And there we go, distracting the Lumberjack and the Dark Prince. NATO pulls it all together. Ice Wiz should slow it down enough. And there you have it. It's going to be a draw to open up this match. Very well played by both teams.
Yeah, very dominant first half by Luke Dubs and Jose Brian, but then you saw Tilted Eddie and Blaze getting back on top of things for Dignitas. So we have a draw in game number 1.
Like you said, Andrew, it looked like Cream had that sewn up, but Eddie and Blaze made a good call, stopped throwing the golem in the pocket, and instead started getting some pushes going the opposite direction through the bridge, which stopped allowing their opponents to turn that defense into offense.
Yeah, it was demanding a lot more out of Cream in the lane that they didn't want to commit to, and you know, Blaze and Eddie made a very, very heads-up adjustment in the game, starting with a golem again.
And Royal Giant immediately.
Ooh, and this could be brutal. This could be real bad for Dignitas. We've seen this happen before.
Royal Giant gets one shot off, gets 2 shots off, so opens up with 2 raged up shots to start our game.
We've got a 2 elixir lead in hand by Cream, but obviously a golem on the field. Maybe Dignitas hoping that Cream would not have run back the same deck, that Inferno Tower.
And they got their wish, but I don't know, you know, I guess I'll say this one. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. So Cream coming out on top, about 500 HP in that exchange.
Well, Cream has some excellent responses. The Ice Wiz NATO combination, of course, will do great against that golem, and then you throw in double Lumberjack. So now you have defensive and offensive Lumberjacks.
Oh, and look at that. Lumberjack doing a good job against the Prince. Going to allow that. See, 4 shots from the Royal Giant.
Wow, that is just hard for Dignitas to come back from.
Yeah, and there's the Inferno Tower, just not in cycle the first time for Cream's defense. Just above 2,000 HP remains on that bottom left-hand tower for Cream. Does get 1 Mega Minion swing in.
Very important swing. We are moving into double elixir time. Cream ahead, but Dignitas might be able to turn up the heat as the elixir begins to flow more freely.
Yeah, we see the double golem deck here coming, and I would hope that Blaze and Eddie alternate their golems to keep pressure up as opposed to double goleming, but we will see. Sacrificing the tower early on is Dignitas once again.
Yeah, I think that they're just saying we are going to have to go for this tower. We're not going to worry about what you're doing.
Oh, and look at that. Such a nice fireball to clean up all the troops there.
And might we see a second high golem? I don't know who played the last one.
30 seconds remain.
There we go. So now we golem up again, and now it's a second. Now they're going double.
And we will see if this pays off or if they prove me wrong.
They have to take care of that Ice Wizard.
And the Ice Wizard just sitting pretty. Half health, finally goes down, but the Inferno is raged up.
There is no archetype in 2v2 that has suffered more from the lack of bans than Golem.
Yep, and right here you see it just doesn't seem to work out. Luke Dubs gets his very first CRL victory.
Well played, Cream Esports. Dignitas again, we have to reiterate that. Golem, I don't know if we've seen Golem win yet this season.
Yeah, definitely not the ideal meta in 2v2, and that was actually only Jose Brian's 2nd game win in the 2v2 set. So, as we mentioned at the top of this match, you know, how much Cream has struggled in the 2v2. Now with Luke Dubs, what will that mean for their season moving forward?
Well, so far it means 1 win.
Yeah.
See if he can stack on some more, and here we go, Eddie and Blaze back to Lava Hound.
So a win or a draw by Dignitas will push this to a game 4.
And easily handle the first Royal Giant push.
That Ice Spirit's gonna, gets picked up by the Mega Minion, a very good pickup, as it would have reset the Lava, or Inferno.
And it just seems a little early to be going to the back of the tower, and you can see Blaze grimacing there. You have to expect that they have a tornado. There's going to be a tornado in pretty much every single deck.
Yes, and also going to the back of the tower, very close to being able to get snowballed as well, which is, again, another card that's almost always in 2v2. If you don't see a tornado, you'll probably see a snowball. A lot of times you see both.
So that's going to make the Lava Miners' job a whole lot harder.
And this time the Lumberjack does take down the Prince, but it does not tank for the Royal Giant, which is its ideal purpose.
Lightning comes in on defense. Miner does get down in front of the Lava Hound.
That tower will probably drop below 1,700 HP. Oh, even more with the poison.
Dignitas very low on Elixir, and Elixir management has been a challenge for this squad in 2v2 so far.
Royal Giant at the river. Lumberjack up front. And a great fireball from Cream will allow that Royal Giant to at least get one shot in.
That raged up Royal Giant is so nasty, down to 1434.
However, Dignitas fires back with some great poison value of their own, staying in the lead.
And that was a beautiful lightning. Tornado will bring that Royal Giant back a bit, but again, we're going to see at least one shot.
Yeah. Very close to two. Probably going to ignore that Baby Dragon. That is the correct move.
And just look at the Elixir difference right now on these two teams. Cream just really does, they can't have enough Elixir, whereas Dignitas continuously behind.
Wow. 3 shots in, and that is going to do it. All they need is a lightning coupled with a fireball, and that is good game, or they'll just send in another Royal Giant. Dignitas has nothing to respond.
And there
Lightning
you go,
log.
snowball, log, lightning will come in behind.
Just waiting on the spell. We're all sitting here waiting. There it goes.
There we go. So 2v2 goes to Cream. Welcome to CRL West, Luke Dubs.
Yeah, and that is a very, very big set win and a great way for Luke Dubs to say hello to everyone else that's been here for a couple weeks already. Cream picks up their second 2v2 set victory.
So an insane lineup coming out, King of the Hill for Cream Esports. It's Luke Dubs, Cody Go, and the man who's been carrying without them here, Lindsay.
Yeah, and on the other side of it, we've got Oxlet, Blaze, and Frost. Oxlet's 4 and 5 in King of the Hill. He definitely has a sweep under his belt over Tribe, which is no small feat. And Luke Dubs opens up with my favorite, Mortar.
Up against Ram Rider.
And look at that. The snowball comes in with the help of the Ram Rider and takes out both Rascal Girls, so forcing a Goblin Gang to be dropped.
And now a little bit of damage comes in, but Oxley with a slight Elixir lead. Cody Go just kind of chilling, thinking about things. Sorry, Luke Dubs.
Yep. I know, I like that little look up. Huh.
Let me think.
Feels good to be here. Miner in the back to meet that Baby Dragon. Nice positive 1 Elixir trade.
This is Luke Dubs' favorite deck. He's been playing this like crazy as of late, and there's some rocket value.
Yeah, that's some great rocket value. Probably going to opt to let both towers take down this Ram Rider, find himself at only a single Elixir behind, or 2.
So can Oxlet find some way to take advantage of this Elixir lead?
And
Luke Dubs looks so insanely relaxed right now.
Yeah, which is shocking. I mean, I know that he just had a great 2v2 set, but it's still day 1 for him, you know?
Yeah, he might still be jet lagged.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just tired, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's just the tired calm. So Oxlet trying to put together a big push here, take advantage of that Elixir lead he has.
Just content to let this one play out.
Yeah, very, very patient play. Gonna maybe see, yep, Minion Horde plus Miner here. Miner gonna catch that Baby Dragon. Very well played.
Giant Snowball comes in for Luke Dubs.
Wow. And I love that Giant Snowball play. He knew that Oxlet would respond with one more card, most likely being the E-Wiz, and that was picture perfect.
And one bat survives. And now just a pile of troops at the bridge. Gets a lock with the mortar. Lukedub's playing picture perfect.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. And now you see the Rascal Boys sneaking in front, keeping that mortar lock on. This is going to be a dominant victory by Lukedubs in his CRL debut.
And Miner pulls the bandit to the back, gets one more shot from the Rascal Girl.
And Oxlet knows it's over for him. A snowball plus a rocket will take care of this and send it home.
And you can take a look, this is, Oxlet's barely cracked the shell of this right-hand tower.
Yeah, just an astounding display from this mortar deck. And we actually, I don't believe we've seen this mortar deck yet here at CRL.
Rocket comes in, that's going to be it. Lukedubs takes his first head-to-head victory.
In a dominant showing over Oxlet, a man that has proven to take down some of the best here at CRL West. A debut for Lukedubs, taking the 2v2 set, a debut in King of the Hill, and he takes it with a brand new mortar deck that we haven't seen yet. So what does Blaze have up his sleeve, the 16-year-old from Thousand Oaks, California?
I have no idea, Andrew. This is a big spot for the young man. Lukedubs currently unbeaten.
Yeah, that's very fair. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I would absolutely love to see a mortar battle between Lapakati and Lukedubs after that.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Gotta wonder what's going through Blaze's mind in this spot. He hasn't had a lot of turns at King of the Hill, only one showing so far. A loss to Kuchiku.
You saw his teammate Frost getting him hyped up before going up to the tower.
Oh, and it's gonna be Goblin Giant Sparky for Lukedubs. So this is gonna be really interesting. Blaze going up against one of the best players in the world, playing the highest win rate deck in all of CRL.
And Lukedubs is definitely feeling himself. You know, we talked about it, we joked about it earlier, but in all seriousness, that man is scary calm right now.
Yeah.
And he decides to golem up in the back. So,
Well, I guess seeing the Goblin Giant, he felt like he wasn't likely to get super punished in that moment.
yeah, there's just not a lot. I mean, excuse me, there's so much to respond to this golem push. You've got the Hunter, you've got the guards, of course, obviously got the Sparky. Blaze not happy that Mega Minion took a left turn.
And a perfect lightning from Lukedubs.
Lukedubs tower down to 1455.
Yeah, Blaze got his shots in there.
Yeah.
And a nice surround on the Sparky.
Did not need that bar barrel, but did not want to make a mistake.
And Golem's up again.
So you got a Golem on the field, Sparky on the field, even Elixir.
Goblin Giant right in front.
So now how is Blaze going to take down this Goblin Giant, support his Golem, and then in turn, not have to worry about the Sparky? A Lightning will help.
Lightning from both sides, so Goblin Giant goes down and doesn't quite get the Golem death damage, but Golemite's on tower. Prince coming behind.
Yeah, this is looking good for Blaze in this moment. Bar Barrel down in front, still. Baby Dragon goes down.
Heading into sudden death overtime. Blaze currently has the lead on Lukedubs.
Lukedubs gonna probably play a high Sparky, there it is. This is very, very good lightning value for Blaze. There we go.
And death damage from the Golem, and suddenly death damage from Golemites.
So if he can take care of this Sparky, get another high Golem down, this should be a way for Blaze to take this game from Lukedubs. And honestly, you want to get him off the tower.
And this would be a big signature win for Blaze to pull off.
There's the lightning.
And Goblin Giant does get on the tower. The Hunter doing some damage as well. So now Blaze in a little bit of trouble. Things very, very close. Throws down the snowball. Oh my gosh.
I can't even talk right
this
now.
Goblin
This
Giant
is
is so
insane.
aggressive. Luke Dubs keeping the pressure on, does not want to let Blaze get comfortable enough to get a lightning down.
And now Blaze needs to get the pressure up. He needs to stop this push. Luke Dubs knows. You can see it in his eyes. I think he feels like he's already lost.
And now might be the moment.
Got to get that lightning down. Nope, not able to. Maybe not back in cycle.
And Goblin Giant making its run. Lightning does get down.
That is a bad lightning. That is a very bad lightning.
Gosh, Luke Dubs takes it. Blaze knows he gave that one up. And now Luke Dubs still stays unbeaten here at CRL West.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Blaze doesn't even know what he did, but that lightning cost him the game. He should have doubled down on defense, seen what he could do over the next couple seconds, but Luke Dubs, as you said, still perfect on the day.
Gotta feel rough for Blaze in that spot. He had that thing sewn up, and just a little misplay there at the end, and Luke Dubs takes it, and now here we are. The Cream player 1 win away from a sweep, and Frost has it all on his shoulders one more time.
And you saw it. You even saw it in Luke Dubs' eyes. At one moment, he was like, all right, I lost. I got outplayed. And then he saw the misplay by Blaze and capitalized. And now Luke Dubs back to his comfort deck because you know what? Why not? Give Cody Go or Lindsay a chance if this doesn't work.
Yeah, Frost going bridge spam, and Luke Dubs now considering his options one more time.
I love that. It's like, all right, these are the 4 cards that have been played. These are probably what the other 4 cards are. How do I punish him? How do I take advantage? See another mortar coming down. Thanks to our handy hand cam.
You know, I love that when the mortar targets your troop and miss.
A big push on the right-hand side. Those bats are going to do a little bit of stoppage, but not enough.
A good exchange overall for Frost. First minute away and out to a significant lead.
Yeah, Luke Dubs not happy about that. Frost feeling himself.
Luke Dubs adjusts, thinking about what's up next.
Miner to the inside, knowing that NATO is not in play.
Yeah, cheeky little miner.
So if your first big push didn't go well, then just get back to the basics.
So Frost immediately goes to the Bandit in the opposite lane from the Rascals, but Goblin Gang there.
Minions take out the Rascal Girls. Rascal Boy gets 1 swing in.
And Luke Dubs mortars up one more time.
Right into a P.E.K.K.A. So Frost here going pretty classic bridge spam.
Yeah, Dark Prince has really taken the place of that Royal Ghost.
Yep. And Mortar does get a lock with half health. That does need to be paid attention to. See the Rascals coming down to gonna defend, gonna allow at least 2 more shots in by that Mortar.
This is really, really nasty from Luke Dubs, knowing his opponent had nothing in cycle to deal with all those swarm troops and takes full advantage.
Yep, and a Goblin Gang is gonna come down to meet that battle ram. Very, very easy way to get a positive elixir trade. However, look at that. Bandit should dash on the Rascal Boy. And that Miner in the top left brings that tower all the way down to 804 HP.
So what was a significant lead for Dignitas, for Frost, suddenly turns into being way behind.
And
Miner with bats and support.
Miner with bats, that's gonna do it. You know Rockets in hand. Luke Dub does it. A 5-game sweep. He sweeps King of the Hill. He sweeps the 2v2 set. And this is exactly what Cream has been saying they would do all season long once they got their full roster. Rich, I am blown away right now.
That was just picture perfect. And despite the challenges he faced against Blaze, Luke Dubs mortar bait at the top, mortar bait at the bottom, and just smashes, making it look easy both times.
I mean, yeah, that first interaction went very, very poorly for Luke Dubs. The quick adjustment, the Miner in, the Goblin Gang to the right, all of a sudden Frosty's playing on his heels, and Luke Dub is back in the driver's seat. That was some dominant Clash Royale.
Well, that's the difference between someone who plays that deck at the highest level and someone who doesn't. Was a lot of people will go for those cheap Miner pushes, but they'll do it at the wrong time. And he knows how to do it at the exact moment to maximize damage.
Yeah, you saw that. You mentioned it during the actual game. There were times he kept punishing or stacking units at the river, knowing that there was nothing there in Frost's hand to meet it. And at the end, it was just a simple miner plus bats, mortar behind. That's a very, very cheap push that was devastating to the boys in black and yellow.
And now Cream Esports looks absolutely horrifying. They were already a good team kind of sitting in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Especially with the play of Lindsay, but now you add in Luke Dubs, even seen Cody go yet, and this is what they're doing.
And just remember, Cream took down Pain early on in their very first match of the season, so now we got to go down and talk to the brand new Cream, our girl Rachel Seltzer on the floor.
With an unbelievably dominant display, Luke Dub has swept through all of Dignitas. You took out the 2v competition. You cleaned up in King of the Hill. So on behalf of fans of CRL West, I want to say welcome and congratulations on the undefeated record.
Thank you. It feels really amazing to be here and to be helpful for my team and to represent my country the way I want to.
Well, walk me through the matches today. Who was toughest on Dignitas so far?
I believe it was Eddie, because it was a complicated matchup. I wasn't so used to that, but I'm glad that it went well.
Indeed, it did. Your match against Oxlet, we got to see you playing one of your favorite decks from ladder. Tell us why you chose to play it then.
Because it's my always deck, basically. I'm very used to play it in ladder. I had good positions with Mortar, and I believe everyone else knows me because of the Mortar, so...
What's been the best part about working with your teammates to improve your personal Clash Royale game?
Oh yeah, it was really amazing because Jose Bryan in Fury, he's the player that less have experience in 2v2 because he didn't play the last CRL, but he plays really amazing, and I'm very happy that we could have synergy.
And I want to give you the opportunity here with such an explosive debut to say something to your fans.
You can expect the best of Green Sports now that the whole team is complete, and that we will represent Latin the best way we can do.
Thank you so much. Congratulations once again. And we're going to send it back to the casters. Let's take a look at those beautiful matches.
If you're not excited about what Cream Esports can do from this point in the season, I guarantee you had your eyes closed for the last few minutes.
I mean, just amazing. And you saw even in the interview, he was just like, hey, I'm here now. I'm working with my team. We're going to be the best out there. And that was pretty dang convincing, Rich.
And we didn't even see Cody go for a half second. I mean, we saw him on the bench, basically.
Yeah, and they say that he's supposed to be better than Luke Dubs in head-to-head play.
Well, talking about better, what can top that? Well, coming up next, the #1 and #2 team in CRL West, it's Complexity versus Pain.
The 10 other teams that aren't on the stage, they've got to look at this and go, wow, Adrian, Piedra, and Vulcan did not even show up today. And that was a dominant display from the boys in blue.
Hey, my name is Air Surfer.
Hey, my name is Vulcan.
Hi, my name is Colton W83.
Hola, mi nombre es Adrián Piedra.
Hey, my name is Razor.
Complexity!
When I first went to a Clash Royale tournament, which was King's Cup, I was going to college in San Diego and the tournament was in Los Angeles and I had no money. So I gave someone like $10 to drop me off in LA on the way to the tournament the night before. And then I stayed at like a really cheap hotel. And then I went to the tournament the day of. And then I ended up getting all the way to second and earning like $10,000. And my parents didn't want me going to LA by myself. So I kind of told them a friend drove me, which wasn't really true. And so I went there, and then I ended up telling them I was on stream, and there was like 40,000 people watching live, and then I ended up getting $10,000, and then I told them the truth after the fact. So that worked out well because I won a bunch of money. So I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it back, but I figured with $10,000, I'd probably be okay buying an Uber if I had to.
Tried after winning King of the Hill because Air Surfer lagged.
This is going to be Jay Monty taking another win.
We are going to Game 5.
Wow, Jay Monty showing up huge. One win away from not just a reverse sweep.
actually That's a quality meme. That's a quality meme.
Anthony cuando le hacen snipe en stream.
¡No!
Es que pierde todas, no gana ni uno. Es malísimo mi puerquito.
Washing the window.
The car.
Yeah.
The car.
Crying? Tearing up? I don't know, being sad?
Yes.
Fighting. Street fighter.
Yes, what a sport.
Boxing.
Yes. Flying. Snow angels. Yes.
Sit down.
Mowing a lawnmower. Lawnmower.
Andrew, this is the one I might be the most excited about. Complexity versus Pain, two fantastic 2v2 duos, a bunch of 1v1 stars who've been playing out of this world. I think this is the marquee matchup of the season.
I honestly, everyone's been waiting for it. Everyone's been talking about it since day one, and now that Complexity's at the top, Pain has fallen down to second place. Everyone here, us, the other players, are dying to see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, they've both been so great. Complexity's dominated King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Pain has dominated in 1v1. The question is who can dominate right now? So let's not wait anymore. Let's go down to the stage and welcome our teams into the OGN Super Arena.
Yeah, two very different stories coming in today in the sense that Energy just took down Pain Gaming in their last showing. However, no one has seemed to figure out or crack the code to take down Complexity since their very first match. And that's when Colton and Razor did not play together in the 2v2. You see the love on the floor and the respect between these two teams. But there's a lot of business to take care of today. So, the boys in blue coming out in the Dallas Cowboys logo, of course. We got Complexity, Vulcan, Razor, Air Surfer, Colton, and do not forget Adrian Piedra, who just had that amazing showing in their last match.
Yeah, fantastic 1v1 performance, just held strong, stayed in the pocket, and got a big win over Wings. Across from them, one of the other toughest outs in all of CRL West, Pain Gaming, Wen, who's been so great in 1v1, the 2v2 duo of Surge TS and Henan Kava, who have been fantastic, and the Expo player who's shown so much excitement and depth, Carnage, rounding out that squad.
Such a strong roster, as you were just talking about. 3-1 in 1v1 sets is Wen. He seems unstoppable in that tiebreaker set, but right now it's 2v2 coming at you.
Yeah, Andrew, this is one that I'm so excited to see. The level of play from Colton and Razor has been through the roof. Same for Pain Gaming, and their records pretty much the same. 5-2 for Razor in 2v2, 5-2 for both of his opponents.
Yeah, and Colton sitting out that very first 2v2 set that they did fall in.
Yeah.
So he's 5-1.
You know, I talked to Matt Rutledge, the manager for Complexity, about that. He said they came out a little overconfident in match number 1, tried to mess with their roster a little bit, you know, reinvent the wheel, if you will, and it didn't work out. But on the flip side, last season, the pressure built up so much as it went on over being undefeated.
Right.
And so he jokingly told me, look, our plan was to get the loss out of the way early, and that way there's no pressure on the rest of the season. We'll win out.
I mean, honestly, he may have been joking, but that is a very, very important thing. It's you know, there's the curse of the perfect season and the curse of the perfect team, where once you get to playoffs is where you stumble. So I love it, and I also love that Matt was so forthcoming about it. He's one of my favorite people here at CRL and in any organization. And they learn from their mistakes.
Well, we have two squads here who both have excellent cultures, even if they come from sort of different directions.
Yeah.
You have a very positive, very driven, very focused Complexity that really puts a lot of emphasis on the team working well together, mentally and emotionally. And then you have on the other side the passion, the fire of Pain Gaming, who really push each other forward and elevate each other with their level of intensity.
Yeah, they have the best pre-match chant out of any team here at CRL. One thing that we kind of missed a little last year in NA and EU, and they've encouraged other teams to follow suit. So here we are, 2v2. We've got Royal Giants on the top. We've got Lava Miner on the bottom of your screen being played by Complexity.
Pain has played a lot of Graveyard this season. They've leaned on that quite heavily in 2v2. So good to see them kind of switching up a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely want to switch it up when you're going against these guys. And that is a lot of shots from a raged up Royal Giant on that bottom right tower, now below 1,000 HP. Colton and Razor have yet to really break through, but it seems like this is going to be their moment.
A very nice tornado, gathering everything together for both the Dark Prince and the Baby Dragon. Poison in as well, and now Complexity takes the lead.
Complexity's like, all right, you're gonna hit us, we're gonna hit right back. And you would expect nothing less from these two powerhouse 2v2 duos.
Solid pickup there by Pain on the miner.
Baby Dragon clean up the guards, and Lumberjacks will meet on the Complexity side of the map.
And trying to shield the Lumberjack.
Oh.
Nice job.
That is such a small interaction, such a small attention to detail, but it does pay off in the sense of that Lumberjack would have required a lot more attention. So Complexity now going to take down the tower with some spell cycling, but a Royal Giant in the pocket.
Yeah, Complexity was forced to go ahead and spend 10 elixir really quick to make sure they didn't lose the match in regulation time. And seeing the opening, Royal Giant immediately in the pocket for Pain Gaming, and now they are in a fantastic position.
Yeah, I mean, Pain here having that Royal Giant cycle, being able to put him in the pocket, usually get one shot off anytime that NATO is out of cycle or the Inferno Tower. So now they decide to go at the river. So maybe the next one will be in the pocket.
Yeah, that Royal Giant
is
going to get a shot or two.
Yeah, at least two.
Oh boy, that's going to be it.
Yeah,
Lightning will be enough.
Very well played by Pain Gaming. Again, two of the best duos out there, and Pain's going to come out on top in game number 1.
Pain is really low on elixir. They are not able to get back to a Lightning right now, so they do have other spell options. Colton and Razor. The only problem with playing Lava Hound is it's hard to keep pressure on.
Yeah, and especially once you get into double elixir time, you're spending so much defense against that Royal Giant. So maybe a change in decks coming up for Colton and Razor, or maybe they go back to the same deck and play a little stronger defense early on.
So very well played by Pain Gaming in game number 1. It was just really tough for Colton and Razor once they fell behind to try to fire back. Lava Hound being such a slow moving win condition, and really not a lot of other ways to get on tower directly.
Yeah, and you saw all that elixir they had to spend at the end of regulation to catch up to Pain, and Pain really punished them for it. Now, Colton and Razor did play great defense there with a NATO and I believe a Lumberjack, but at the end of the day, the damage is already dealt, and Pain really put the pressure on and kept them at an elixir deficit.
Well, the Lightning value that Pain put down was phenomenal, and in that great defensive sequence we talked about, the Lightning came in on the Lumberjack and the Inferno Tower and kind of ended it.
Yeah, and as you stated before, here is Pain Gaming using their signature graveyard, if you will, in 2v2.
And Colton and Razor switching things up as well.
Yeah. They have a lot of great answers to the graveyard already, even with only 7 cards being shown. Gonna need one more unit up top, I believe. There's the Baby Dragon.
Freeze comes in for Pain Gaming. Nice log to clean up.
Yeah, very nice late log there from Complexity.
And that was great Musketeer value. You see the Musketeer that just went down for Complexity. She did a good job of keeping the troops up high, keeping them from getting down to both tank and add more damage.
Yeah, and you saw right there at the end, they played the skeletons around her, trying to protect from... Oh, and okay. It always scares me when teams do that.
I understand the logic there. I feel like 1340 is a little low to allow that to happen.
Yeah, now hoping that the graveyard will be taken down even quicker with the King Tower activation, maybe mitigating damage later on to take damage up front, but I'm with you. It seems like a lot.
Everybody's got a graveyard.
Yep, and Baby Dragon is tanking, but not a lot of damage coming in, mainly the Giant Skeleton taking the brunt of it.
That was a really smart Giant Snowball, and it might not seem like it as much because it didn't kill any troops, but people forget about how valuable the slow is. The Giant Skeleton didn't do as much, the Musketeer didn't help as much, and that's why you see that tower at 1508.
Yep, very, very close, narrowing the gap between both these two squads. Musketeer takes care of all the rogue skeletons. And again, the Baby Dragon still tanking for those skeletons. Or maybe the Dark Prince, excuse me. Baby Dragon on tower.
Musketeer barely gets picked up by the Baby Dragon by Pain, down to 891 in the final 20 seconds of regulation.
And that high Musketeer play to take out the Ice Wizard, and it will do just that.
Baby Dragon coming in, does get a belch on tower. That was a huge one shot, now down to 506.
We got a poison and a log and a snowball in the hands of Complexity. So they're gonna have to do a little bit more work, but they've got a lot of damage between them and Pain catching up. So slow and steady wins the race. You know, and I hate to use this as an example because Blaze really played his heart out, but sometimes you see that finish line, you have a spell in hand, all of a sudden your math goes off a little bit, and Complexity doing the right thing and just trying to get one more hit on that tower.
Here we go, Dark Prince comes in, does get that
hit.
Complexity takes game number 2. This is the match we hope to see between these duos.
Yes, this is exactly what we expected between these 4 gentlemen. Now the game's all tied up, moving into our 3rd game of 2v2.
So big questions on what these 2 squads will do in the final deciding game of this opening set. Pain Gaming's gone to lava, gone to graveyard quite a bit. We'll see if they do it one more time. Across from them, we've seen some wrinkles from Complexity. They've had a lot of success playing that Ram Rider Freeze deck.
Oh yeah, that was a very interesting deck. And one thing that we haven't talked about yet, Rich, is that, you know, Pain Gaming has been doing great in the 1v1 set, but not as well in the King of the Hill set. And Complexity has been dominating the King of the Hill set, so much so that they barely even made it to the 1v1 set. So if I'm Pain Gaming, I look at this as a must-win set to put Complexity off their kilter.
I think you're absolutely right there, Andrew. Now, very interesting. We're seeing Lava coming out for Complexity, Lava Miner, but the big shift that I really like, you heard me a minute ago, is the addition of the mini P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah, something to really help take out the Lumberjack and Royal Giant pushes with a lot more speed than happened in the first game. That was their biggest trouble, was that they didn't have anything to distract the Royal Giant or take it down quick enough.
Although, again, it's Complexity down by quite a significant margin early on.
Yeah. See the battle in the middle of the map happening between these support units. A very nice lightning from Complexity.
Ooh, yes, it's a beautiful lightning. And a nicely timed snowball from Pain.
Excellent. Knocks the Lumberjack back. Oh, and the raged up Miner protects the lava pumps. Look at that.
That is beautiful. Quite a lot of damage done by Complexity. Fantastic sequence.
Yeah, they end up taking the lead after that very, very heads up last second play.
They go ahead and give away the lead.
Yep.
One Mega Minion swipe. Mega Minion has long been one of the most played cards outside of spells, like one of the top played troop cards in all of Clash Royale.
And there you saw, just as you called it, so many units coming down immediately on top of that. I believe we saw guards, skellies, and the mini P.E.K.K.A. being played instantly.
High Inferno Tower takes out the first Lava Hound, second Lava Hound, now that it's out of cycle. Remember, Elixir flows a lot slower in 2v2, so it is harder to get back to that Inferno Tower.
Yep. Skeletons distracting the Lumberjack just long enough. Lightning comes in to reset the Inferno, and a raged up RG will get a bunch of shots in. Even with the NATO, it gets that last shot in.
Oh, and it gets one more.
That is a huge, huge blow.
But now Pain low on Elixir with 14 seconds left.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. coming in, distracted by the guards. Nothing on the Miner. This could even things up.
Complexity loading up. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Man.
Can they make it happen?
Oh, Lumberjack on the tower. Lightning in. Sudden death. What?
Oh, what?
Wait.
I cannot believe that. Complexity steals it. Pain Gaming left the tower on the board, and the entire room is shocked.
I am so glad you just told me what happened, because I did not know. So everyone in the booth felt bad for me. We're going to look at this one more time and break down just exactly what happens. Rich, take us to it.
I mean, it's a simple idea of Complexity selling out, and Pain kind of loses their mind. The last card in Surge's hand is Fireball. He doesn't play it on offense, and the Lightning apparently not in cycle. You saw Henenkava playing the NATO, so even if it was not enough elixir for it, and just they left the tower on the board, Complexity steals it, and here we go in King of the Hill, and as you said, this is where Complexity thrives and where Pain has struggled.
Yeah, I mean, that was as close as it gets. We've all been there before where you forget to take down a tower because you're so caught up playing defense. So now, Air Surfer trying to close this one out over Pain Gaming's Henenkava in King of the Hill.
Air Surfer, of course, coming off that great King of the Hill sweep in his last outing. He has played beautifully thus far this season.
Yep.
And these two players look like they are playing the top 2 most popular decks this season. The Minor Prince Spear Goblins deck is the #1 most played deck in CRL West at 19 plays and a 68% win rate.
And the crazy thing is, because his team's been playing so well, Air Surfer hasn't even shown up on the battlefield since his King of the Hill sweep.
And this is almost the second most popular deck. The bridge spam with traditional Prince rather than Dark Prince is at 17 plays.
Very
but
nice.
this one is close behind.
And a very nice defensive miner there to pick up the Bandit, take care of the Musketeer.
So Battle Ram high, Inferno Tower not necessary.
Double snowballs coming out. Very well cleaned up, efficiently cleaned up by Air Surfer. Henenkava keeping up the pressure.
Miner into the back.
Does not pull the Bandit behind.
And the bats get easily taken care of, and now this is a pretty significant push coming in. Giant snowball, but down at 1 elixir is Air Surfer.
Yeah, that Battle Ram will not connect. A last-second bar barrel, so Air Surfer comes out on top with a great amount of minor chip damage that came in on Henenkava's top left tower.
And they're pretty even on elixir right now as well as we head into double elixir time, so good sequence for Complexity to start things off.
Yeah, and that is the nice thing about this deck is if you, since it has such a quick cycle and such cheap cards, if you play even one defense incredibly efficient, you can come right back from an elixir deficit. And that's exactly what Air Surfer just did.
Bar barrel to pick up the Musketeer on the opposite side, but now Henenkava loading up in both lanes.
Gonna need one more unit in the center. Spear Goblins to pull that Bandit. Very well played. Musketeer does get a shot on the right tower. And that bar barrel is the hero of the day for Air Surfer, but the Dark Prince does connect.
And the Prince turns the wrong way. That Battle Ram does get a shot on as well.
2 big-time connections for Henenkava.
And Air Surfer being a little predictable there, going with the miner to the back one more time.
Yep.
It's so tempting to always throw the miner there when you're playing this deck, hoping to create that distance between these small support troops that can do DPS, but you know, eventually you're gonna get caught, and that's what we just saw.
Yeah. And in turn, you see right now Henenkava able to keep the pressure up, able to spend that elixir on the poison. Goes to the front this time, picked up again. Henenkava in the mind of his opponent.
Maybe listening to us here on the broadcast?
Definitely.
Into sudden death, Henenkava currently sitting pretty, but he is behind on elixir to Complexity's Air Surfer.
So Air Surfer gonna go all in, maybe able to pull the P.E.K.K.A., not able to pull the P.E.K.K.A. Oh, he does!
It's a nice pull. Prince does go to the P.E.K.K.A. instead of the tower by just a little bit.
So very close. That would have been a massive hit for Air Surfer, evening the game up.
And nice positioning on the Spear Goblins just inside range so the Bandit doesn't dash and kill one immediately.
Dark Prince comes down to protect the Musketeer. A poison is used by Air Surfer to take out this big-time push.
And notice Air Surfer really not going to his Inferno Tower very often, choosing instead to play defense primarily with that Prince and the Spear Goblins.
Yeah, and he's giving a lot of poison value every time that happens, and Henenkava's taking advantage of it. So now Air Surfer at only 464 HP, using the defensive miner, he's going to have a lot of work to do over the next 80 seconds.
A good value snowball for Henenkava, but back to the miner again. This cycle is so quick, and that miner does get on tower.
Musketeer cleaned up by the bats.
Final minute of sudden death overtime. Hen and Kava ahead, but not by too much.
Air Surfer avoids the poison with 2 of his Spear Goblins. Maybe able to create a counter push here. Miner should come in soon.
Time ticking away for Air Surfer in this opening game of King of the Hill.
And that is within spell cycle range. You get a poison down, you get a snowball down, and that is going to be all she wrote.
So Miner does get on tower, but Bandit takes care of it fairly quickly. Prince barely survives, gets hit by the Bandit dash. So now snowball, poison in. This should be it. Hen and Kava should have this thing done. And there you go. Game number 1, Hen and Kava takes out Air Surfer and King of the Hill.
Very, very well played. You see the sigh from Air Surfer knowing that it was right there. But Hen and Kava outplays him. Vulcan up next.
Vulcan has been so insanely dominant in King of the Hill. Of course, last time out did not continue with that loss to Wings, but still, 3 King of the Hill sweeps. At the moment, the most scary man in set number 2.
Yeah, 9-2 in King of the Hill, a guy that has just been so dominant. We're gonna open up with Mortar. We've heard him talk a lot about how much he likes Mortar and how he plays it.
And of course, we just saw that insane Mortar play by Luke Dubs, so
yeah,
maybe he was watching and was like, hey, it's my turn.
Yeah, that was some of the best Mortar play we've ever seen. Him and Lapacati are just out of this world, but honestly, Vulcan's not far behind them. He plays this deck very, very well, or I'll say this archetype, since he does mix it up a little bit.
And Mortar Bait has rocketed up to the top of our deck pool rankings, currently at around 65% as a win rate.
And here we go, Miner in to try to tank for all of this. A very well-played Hunter up high. Something that Hen and Kava is going to have to vary where he drops that Hunter as to not get caught by the Miner.
Really interesting seeing Hen and Kava play in a bridge spam deck with Hunter in it. We have not seen much of that. I don't know if Hunter has made it into bridge spam yet this season.
It used to be so popular in there. And a pump.
Oh, he's playing 3M.
He's playing 3M, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I was looking at that. I was looking at going like Hunter. Oh, 3 Musketeers. Okay.
Yeah, when you see the Ice Golem, you see the Battle Ram. Usually a very cheap way to create a lot of pressure in both lanes.
So this will be interesting, especially as we get deeper into the game. And if Hen and Kava starts to go 3M in front of King Tower, can Vulcan pick it up with that longer deploy time?
Vulcan opting to not play the Mortar yet. Probably looking to where the Battle Ram's going to be. He decides to just ignore the right-hand Musketeer. Defend hard on the left.
Oof, eats a lot for it. So if Vulcan can figure out a way to defend inexpensively and turn it into some of these cheap counter pushes, that could be a good way to punish, but now we're in double elixir time, and this is where 3M starts to pick up.
Yeah, and a lot of this is going to be based on how Vulcan uses his Mortar defensively, how many times he can get his Miner on that pump, or how he uses his Fireball. As you see right there, opting to Fireball instead of Miner. So the Fireball will be out of cycle. Hendon probably going to want a 3M right now.
There you go. You called it, Andrew.
A lot of answers right now to Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan's going to have to make some pretty significant moves to get around this onslaught.
Oh, wow. And the right-hand lane, Spear Goblin's going to come down, but going to get cleaned up by that second Musketeer.
And she gets on tower. This is just brutal.
Devastating. The Hunter cleans up the minion horde. Right now, Hen and Kava is playing perfectly.
Now in sudden death overtime, and Hen and Kava very close to taking out his second member of Complexity.
Miner goes in, Barbarrel gonna clean up, Rascal's split, and now with that Miner in, Hen and Kava plays a very smart pump, knowing that Vulcan has to fireball that or hold his fireball to try to hit the Musketeers.
He cycles pretty quickly. I wonder if he goes back to another Miner to get onto this pump.
Would be not a bad idea at all. Maybe gonna try right now with the support of this minion horde. Hen and Kava reading his mind.
Oh, and just really nasty. Barbarians all over that left-hand tower.
Yeah, Barbarians on the tower. 304, not quite taking it down, but it does feel like Vulcan's fate is sealed.
And instead, Vulcan going hard left-hand side, trying to steal, but now you see a Battle Ram coming down the right. Fireball comes in as defense. Snowball cleaning some of that up.
Oh, and Hennikava's just laying it on right now. Gonna stop the snowball, but how's he gonna stop the left-hand lane? A defensive miner comes in, does pull the Barbarian. Ice Golem on the tower.
That
Barbarian
will
behind.
be it. Hennikava takes out 2 in a row. And Complexity's dominance in King of the Hill currently under threat.
Getting a roar from the Pain Gaming bench, so Razor is the last person coming up for Complexity to try to send home Pain Gaming in the King of the Hill set.
Coming up next in the anchor spot for Complexity, it's the King Killer himself, Razor, hoping to repeat the success he had in his King of the Hill sweep over Team Liquid.
Yeah, that was an astounding showing from the gentleman on the left side of your screen. However, Hennikava seems unbeatable in this moment, just playing out of his mind.
He is playing exceptionally well right now.
And Hennikava going into this King of the Hill set was only 1-3, so now he's 3-3, evening things up, trying to move into that positive column. Will Razor do what he did again?
And Razor's poison timing was beautiful on that furnace. Other troops came in, so we didn't get to see it play out all the way, but he timed that poison perfectly where he caught every single one of those fire spirits coming out the back end.
Yeah, very, very nicely played. A small connection there from the Mega Minion, maybe a skeleton or two also, but 1874 remaining on that tower.
The trick with that poison is to get the first tick to hit the second fire spirit of that first wave.
Exactly, because your tower will always take out one without a problem and get a shot in on the second. Well-timed P.E.K.K.A. And the dual lane pressure begins. Oh, wow. That is a lot to meet those.
Wow.
Meet that battle ram, excuse me, and take out this P.E.K.K.A.
So Graveyard Furnace for Hennikava.
And a big task ahead of Razor trying to break through this deck.
Been some excellent and slightly off-center choices for the Brazilian in this King of the Hill set.
Very nice zap there. Should get a, nope, Ice Golem comes down. Hennikava's cycle right now is just on point to match everything that Razor can throw at him.
2 minutes away, heading into double elixir time. Hennikava sitting pretty fairly far ahead and has a lot of wonderful defensive options to deal with this bridge spam.
Yeah, Razor's going to need to figure out a way to put in a lot of pressure as well as get the poison. So there's the poison down with the pressure. That way a Graveyard cannot come in from Hennikava.
And here you go, loading up and...
Oh,
wow.
Bandit connects because it's getting tanked for by the P.E.K.K.A. Now the battle ram goes down in the right-hand lane. And that is what bridge spam does to you.
And suddenly, Razor looking really good.
What
Bandit
a
gets on the
zap.
dash.
Look at that, right through that Ice Golem. 374 remains.
Ooh, suddenly we have a game on our hands.
Yes, we do. Poison comes down defensively. Very, very well played by Razor. Not getting too excited about that 374 on the top left. And you see it right there in Razor's face. He took kind of a breath there being like, okay, I've got this in the bag. I just need to play smart.
Graveyard down, and Razor P.E.K.K.A's up high. Does not have much of anything to deal with this Graveyard.
Oh, nothing on the back. Zap does come down. Whew! That zap needed to happen. There's the poison.
Wow, that was one of those moments that could have gone a whole lot worse for Razor, and now he's in a good spot. He has to play defense and get back around to one more poison while not giving up a massive Graveyard play.
Bandit in behind, trying to keep up the Graveyard off the field. Zap down. That might be the end for Razor.
My gosh.
Poison comes down. We can see some ticks.
The Graveyard.
Razor gets the tick in. Graveyard in. Graveyard goes down first.
Hennikava gets the sweep.
Oh my gosh. We all saw it coming. We all saw it happen. And that poison, that was not the way to go. You gotta play defense, my friend.
Oh my word. That was a foot race. That poison one tick away from finishing things off for Razor. Instead, Hennikava gets the Graveyard down, takes advantage of the low elixir, and steals King of the Hill in a 1-2-3 sweep under a team that has looked almost unbeatable in King of the Hill. I mean, it really seemed like losing that 2v2 would put Pain in so much trouble, but Henenkava came out angry and got some revenge on Razor for that stolen game in Game 3 of 2v2.
Huge. So we're going to take a look at that replay right now, and you'll see the mistake here is that Razor, uses the zap offensively, and now he's creating so much pressure. He's keeping that Graveyard off the field. However, this Ice Golem comes in. There's the zap. Now there's nothing in his hand to clean up these skeletons. If he has the zap right now, right then, maybe he gets one more tick on the tower, but he needs 2 more ticks because the zap damage is not there. So who knows? Hindsight is always 20/20. What a great display from Henenkava and King of the Hill.
I mean, one possibility is the zap was cycled out to get the poison in hand.
Exactly.
So that might be the best explanation, but that's done and gone. We're headed to 1v1, and who's it going to be? Vulcan or Air Surfer? Who's coming out for Pain?
I don't know. I mean, do you play? I mean, you can't play Henenkava, who just had an insane showing in King of the Hill. You've got to bring in someone else that was not participating in the 2v2. So I guess you bring out Wen. He's been doing so great.
He has been doing very well, and he hasn't had a shot today, and 1v1's been a set he's performed fantastically in. Great spot to bring the kid in one more time.
But on the other side of it, you have Air Surfer. Air Surfer is going to come out again. He's going to make his 1v1 set debut on the other side of him when he's already been here 4 times before. He's 3-1 in 1v1 sets, 7-3 in games. So obviously a very experienced Air Surfer, but it's his first time in this set.
Andrew, I really like the choice of Air Surfer here. I think that of the 3 guys who came out in King of the Hill, he looked like he was playing the cleanest, just ran into a difficult out against Henenkava.
That's a very, very good point. You know, I mean, if you got to choose between Air Surfer and Vulcan, I understand the difficulties there, but both of them falling in the King of the Hill set. Air Surfer may be looking just a little cleaner, so Complexity pulls the trigger on him when the most experienced member of Pain Gaming in this set.
So maybe Mortar Royal Hogs for Air Surfer. Wen looking like the Minor Prince Spear Goblins deck.
Yeah, Wen has fallen to Lindsay in this set, but he's taken out Buffmac, Tommy, and Wings.
A very, very well played Earthquake to allow one more shot from that Mortar to get on tower.
What an interesting deck.
Yeah, fascinating. We have not seen Mortar Royal Hogs with Earthquake. It's been paired with Rocket so far.
Yeah, and maybe with how much Inferno Tower has been being played. And Furnace, look at that. What a great predictive Royal. I mean, that is a really dangerous push right there, a really ballsy push by Air Surfer, because that is 9 Elixir committed that could be stopped right at the river.
Yeah, that all was beautiful from Air Surfer. You see Wen kind of shaking his head. I got caught.
Yeah, that was very well played.
The Earthquake is such a wonderful and interesting addition here, maybe putting Wen on this Prince deck.
Yeah, or anything that has Inferno Tower. Just, you know, with that Rocket, you're going to have a -1 Elixir trade every time. Now you're going to get +2 and tower damage. I love it.
Well, Wen, compared to the rest of his opponents, has played a lot more buildings because he does mix in a lot of Inferno Tower-based decks and a lot of decks that feature the Tombstone as well between Royal, Giant, and Graveyard.
And look at that. Just so masterfully executed, using all the things that you just talked about to his advantage is Air Surfer, and now Wen looking like he's just got the worst matchup, 243 HP on that tower. And this is definitely going to be game 1 to Complexity.
Yeah, beautiful deck choices. I really think they did their research on Wen, got inside there and saw how, I mean, I think over half the time he runs either Inferno Tower or Tombstone, and then a little bit of Furnace in there as well.
Yeah, and you saw Wen really take it to Lapakati with his predictive, you know, snipe deck, and right now getting a little taste of his own medicine from Air Surfer.
17 seconds left. Rascal's down to pick up the Prince.
Not going to be enough.
That is it. Air Surfer takes game number 1 of our closing set. Beautiful play, even better deck choice. Wen has to find a way to regroup and come back in game number 2.
And what does that do to your mental game going into game number 2 as Wen? Not only did you just lose, but you got sniped. So now he's thinking to himself, oh man, what do I normally play as my second deck? I need to switch it up. So Air Surfer and Wen going into game 2 right now. Air Surfer takes game 1 handedly.
There have been some great moments for Complexity in terms of their analysis and making great deck reads, and that right there was one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. That was a, I mean, you saw Wen, he's just like, I don't know what to do.
So here we are going into game number 2, Air Surfer with a game in hand and switches things up. And you see another Furnace out of Wen. He does play building-based decks or decks with buildings in them quite frequently.
Poison does not tick on its last tick there on those Fire Spirits, so a little bit of damage coming in.
And just a nice safety log to keep the Musketeer going to the Ice Golem instead of the tower.
Yeah. Not sure if it was necessary, but better be safe than sorry.
Miner to the front, Barb trying to get it in the back. A few shots in. So looking like Graveyard from Wen.
Very, very quick cycle here out of Air Surfer.
Well, he's a quick cycle player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best 2.9 Expo players out there, and obviously we just saw him do well with that fairly fast Mortar Royal Hogs EQ deck.
A little bit of conversation happening with some emotes on the stage. I think Air Surfer feeling pretty good about himself in this moment.
Wen Mortar's up. Miner to the opposite tower. Barb's down again. Barbs are just kind of an annoying card to be using as your primary pickup for Miner. You're spending, oh, it's a Royal Giant deck, okay. Yeah, Barbs are just an annoying pickup for Miner. You're spending 5 to pick up 3.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a lot of better options. I guess you can use the Musketeer to try to pick up the Miner. Barb Barrel and Snowball to mitigate 100% of the damage, but definitely a harder interaction.
Yeah, just there's no card that's a clean pickup for an even amount of elixir.
Yeah, and you don't want to use your Musketeer to pick up the Miner because you don't want her to take the damage, and you also don't want to give poison value, as you see right there. And lastly, she's your best source of DPS on the field.
Yeah, that log not quite getting the Musketeer, so forced to pick it up with the bats on the back end. Miner goes to the Furnace directly.
Yeah, instead of going for the poison this time, which I like that. Mini Pekka comes down to meet that Royal Giant.
All right, Air Surfer having some fun.
Yeah. And there goes the Inferno Tower down. Lightning in. Oh, that's going to be a devastating... Another Mini Pekka comes down.
The cycle is so fast for Air Surfer. And this is another call. I mean, looking at Wen, who plays a ton of Royal Giant this season, maybe about a quarter to a third of his appearances.
Yeah, so this deck, you know, has Inferno Tower, has the Ice Spirit to stun, has the log to knock back, and the Mini Pekka to cut down. So this could be another snipe. Yeah, I love this deck. It's fascinating. High poison being played.
You know, we don't see a ton of Mini Pekka in CRL, but we saw some in 2v2 and now here 1v1.
Oh, and look at that. Perfectly played Mini. Saved, or protected just long enough to save any hits from that Royal Giant. Mini Pekka down again. Ice Spirit on top with the bats. No hits coming in.
Brutal,
yeah.
Brutal. Miner down, poison down. Mini Pekka does not quite get to the Musketeer. Does, oh, wow.
But the poison will take it out.
Air Surfer can just cycle so fast. I think Wen knows he's in a lot of trouble.
You see that look on his face of almost resignation.
Well, he has to hope the Air Surfer makes a mistake. That's really what it comes down to.
And he has not. There it is right there. Miner on the tower. Poison in.
Comes
One more
in.
hit and that'll do it.
Complexity!
Wow, they sweep the first set, get swept in the second, and then look at that. Air Surfer sweeping the third, and I expected nothing less from number 1 and number 2 battling things out today.
Just beautiful play by Air Surfer, but you have to give credit to the entire squad. But I don't know if he built the decks for that last set, if that was a team effort, if they went to their analysts, but brilliant choices, brilliantly played. And now Air Surfer has come out with a big King of the Hill sweep and a big 1v1 sweep, and playing at a level that we didn't get to see from him last season. You can tell in the offseason how much he's grown into being a world-class Clash Royale player.
And you know what? At the very beginning of the season, we saw him come out with just 2 head-to-head losses. It really looked like he was struggling. Maybe the lights were getting to him. Maybe it was the new team, the chemistry, whatever it was. All of the doubters and naysayers have been silenced again. He had that King of the Hill sweep, and then today, he dominated when in that 1v1 set. He didn't just play well. He played out of his mind, and his decks gave him an incredible matchup advantage. Just such great work from Complexity today.
Well, hardcore Clash Royale fans on Twitter were clamoring for Air Surfer to find a team. There was no announcement for a long time. This was in the works quietly behind the scenes for a while, and you see why people wanted to see him play so much, because in the offseason between his performance in Moreno Cup, had a great best-of-7 against Surgical Goblin in the finals, the tournaments, he's been great, and you saw right here, you saw right now why everyone wanted to see him get a squad, and Complexity is a great place for him. Let's go to the floor and hear what he has to say with Rachel.
Thanks, guys. I got Air Surfer here, hot off that 1v1 victory where you claimed it for your team. Now, I've got a bunch of questions related to this. It looked like you had sniped Wen's decks perfectly. Was that the case?
Kinda. Definitely in the second game, but the first one I was just using what I was comfortable with.
In the first game, you used the Mortar, Royal Hog, Earthquake. We were wondering if that was because you were aware that Wen likes to use buildings, but you said it's just because you were comfortable with it.
Well, I usually use Rocket in that deck, but Vulcan told me that Earthquake was pretty good, so I decided to use it, and it worked out pretty well for me. So yeah.
Congratulations on that. Now, you said the second deck was a bit more of a snipe choice. Walk me through your decision making there.
So I was kind of thinking he would either use like a Royal Giant Lightning, which he did, or like a Royal Giant Miner type deck, which would beat Royal Hog since I used it the first game, and I like Miner cycles. Plus, Mini Pack is really good versus Royal Giant, so I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, you were fast on those cycles. You mentioned that talking with Vulcan is how you decide to make some deck choices, make some card choices. What is it Vulcan on the team that is helping you make a lot of these choices, or do you guys work as a unit mostly to pick your decks going into each match?
Well, every night before the games we work as a unit, but like this morning before the game, Vulcan suggested that, so yeah.
And at what point were you aware that you were going to be heading into the 1v1 as the competitor for Complexity?
We knew like maybe like 2 days ago we decided, just because like to kind of surprise them, because they would maybe be expecting Vulcan, so yeah.
Wow, you worked that out days in advance, and you plan all these, who's going up into 2v2, who's going into King of the Hill order, and 1v1 days out?
Not for all the games, but for this one we did. Like, we kind of do, but it's like whatever we're feeling, kind of, so yeah.
Was this a game of special importance for you, both of you at the top of the leaderboards currently?
Yeah, this was really important, so I'm happy I was able to win the 1v1 for us, and we're in first place right now, so yeah.
Well, congratulations. We're happy you're able to pull through as well, and so are all your fans online. They've been championing through you throughout Clash Royale, and now they're happy to see you here on the CRL West stage. Anything you want to say to them?
Well, thank you guys for all the support. I mean, we all appreciate it, so go Complexity.
Cheers, thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Rachel. Really interesting insight on those deck choices. Of course, the second one, an intentional direct snipe. The first one, usually play with Rocket, turns out to be an accidental snipe.
Yeah, a deck we've never seen before. So we're going to take a little bit closer look exactly right here. You have this awesome graphic here produced by our team upstairs. We've got the deck that is very popular, but instead of the Rocket, we have the Earthquake, so 3 elixir cheaper, making that cycle even faster. And you look here, Rich, he didn't even play the Mortar more than 3 times.
Yeah, got the Mortar down just enough, but got some very important shots out of that Mortar. And as you mentioned, that quicker cycle with 3 elixir rather than the 6 elixir for the Rocket, so some value there. And of course, as it turns out with how often Wen plays Tombstone and Furnace and Inferno Tower, some great payoff there as well to help out those Royal Hog pushes. So excellent play by Complexity and a big time win to secure their spot at #1, and it's looking like they are running away with this season.
Yes, 7-1 now, but that is not all we have coming for you today. A lot of big matches up next, but Complexity taking down Pain has a lot of implications moving forward. I mean, Pain looked unstoppable for a long time. Now Complexity at 7-1, who's ever going to take them off the top of that mountain?
I mean, that definitely guarantees them a spot in the top 6, maybe even higher than that, so we'll see. But 2 more matches coming your way. Let's go. In a day that's already been fantastic, amazing, unbelievable, any superlative I can throw out, up next, even more, it's SK Gaming facing off against Immortals.
Yeah, this is a big one. Now, Immortals just fell to Team Queso. SK, on the other hand, taking down Tribe with an amazing King of the Hill sweep by Morten. Both teams have so much on the line. They want to get to China. They want to stay in that top 6.
And the big question here is, has Immortals righted some of the wrongs that have been going for them? And SK Gaming, have they figured out the rhythm now with this new super team?
The other side of that, Immortals definitely struggling so far this season. A little bit of not a flop, but just a slow start in their 2v2 set from these amazing players. You see a lot of friends on the floor making their way to the arena.
Well, there's a ton of experience on the floor right now, and it starts at the top and the bottom, all the way from the coaches for both sides, and Trainer Luis and Cavalifar, and all the way down here to Immortals, of course, the young gun La Picati making his pro debut this season, of course, Akrap and the God RF, the 2v2 duo, and Royal, who had a breakout season last year, looking to get in the same rhythm here in CRL West.
Yeah, Royal still trying to find his momentum. On the other side of it, Sergio Ramos for SK has found his, so has Morten, and of course, you know SoKing and OP Sam. OP Sam struggling a little bit in head-to-head play, however, doing good work in that 2v2 set.
So this is a big one for both these teams. It seems like they're both in a good spot to make it into those top 6, but because of the format, that gauntlet-style playoff, every position higher up means so much because it means one less match you have to play to make it to #1. And RF and Akrap out one more time for Immortals, and back on the tower for SK Gaming, it's OP Sam and Morten.
Yeah, OP Sam and Morten as a duo have gone 4-2 in 2v2 sets, 9-5 in games, so actually doing better than the boys in blue here on the left side of your screen. They are 3-4 in sets and 8-8 in games.
Lava up for SK in the top right hand of your screen.
And a Princess down on the bottom right.
So it looks like something a little faster maybe out of Immortals, and this might be the kind of thing they needed, was to get out of sort of the meta rut and back to what they do best, which is try things out, innovate, and play with some style.
Yeah, and you see a lot of answers already coming down with that poison. Getting incredible value is SK Gaming. The miner goes to the Dark Goblin. So we've seen this spell type decks, these spell bait type decks succeed before. We've also seen them struggle, but right now a decent push coming in for Immortals with that Graveyard.
And the hard part about the Graveyard Skeleton Barrel deck is that it just gives so much value when you do hit the proper defensive stride against it.
Yeah, and you know, you see already Barb Barrel, Poison, 2 Baby Dragons, Lumberjack, Guards, just so many answers to any sort of spell bait deck.
Well, the hope is that that Skeleton Barrel tanks a bit for the Graveyard on the early end, and then pops and adds so much more pressure. But as you said, Andrew, just so much stuff out there to deal with it.
You can imagine that Immortals probably has a freeze that they're going to want to hold for a surprise at some moment.
High Inferno Tower, and the Princess surviving. Dark Goblin in the back as well.
But great poison value again, and there goes the poison.
A second Dark Goblin outside of poison, so picks up the majority, or picks up all of that Lava Hound.
And here we go. Skeleton Barrel tanking for the Graveyard. Baby Dragon down to respond.
And this time not quite fast enough on the defense, so Immortals takes a big shot back in the opposite direction.
Yeah, less than 100 HP separating these two teams. You see the Dark Prince coming down in front of the Rascal Girls.
And another high Inferno Tower, this time with some protection in front of it.
So much spell value for SK in this game. You see the Skellies coming down to maybe protect the Dark Goblin, but they go for the Princess instead with the Miner.
Dark Goblin on Dark Goblin, though. They get spell value on one, the next one's right behind it.
Skeletons coming in, +3 or +2 trade. Skellies on the tower with the freeze, down below 800 HP, taking the lead.
Quite a lot of damage, so Immortals needs to play some clean defense here, but looking pretty good thus far. And there you go, Miner right to the Princess this time.
Yep, and the splash damage is getting on the tower. Oh, and that's it.
Oh, there you go. SK Gaming takes game number 1.
So much spell value from SK throughout that entire game, and Immortals just did not have enough in the tank to respond. So the spell bait falling flat against that Lava Miner deck. So many responses in Morten and Sam's hands, and that's one of the reasons why spellbait and logbait in general has not seen a lot of success here in 2v2.
You see a big smile on the face of the God RF, so not too concerned as of yet. But they have been having some challenges in 2v2 lately.
Yeah, I mean, they were on I believe, a 3-set losing streak, and then they finally picked up a win over Hazard and Carter.
But then they ran into Azelius and Benihoo.
Yeah, which Azelius and Benihoo have been insane. Azelius specifically has just been playing out of his mind, but Benihoo did close out that last match, so that duo doing a lot of work for Team Queso.
Ram Rider for SK.
Defensive Lightning comes down.
Not quite enough to stop the connection on that Ram charge, but still cleans up a lot of that. And Magic Archer coming out for SK.
Yeah, Magic Archer showing up more and more these days. And just protected enough by that Prince. A sliver of HP remains.
Prince, wow, that Lumberjack in perfect placement. Prince in front of it. Ram Rider gets onto the Inferno Tower.
Yeah, and maybe a miss on the snowball. I think they would have been able to hit the Magic Archer as well. And now having to spend just a bit more, a couple Magic Archer shots coming in. Morten and Sam, I think, both very surprised at how long that Magic Archer stayed alive.
Yeah, I think I saw him grow a beard.
And I mean, I would call that a little bit of BMing out of SK, maybe getting in the heads of Immortals, AC, and RF.
A lot of chatter on the left-hand side of your screen. Immortals trying to regroup, figure out what to do about the onslaught from Morten and Sam.
And that is the perfect word to describe these first two games. I mean, they just have been not able to break through. A great lightning, though, from Immortals. Will this be a turning point?
And this time, nothing in front of the Ram Rider. So we'll go to the Inferno Tower, get burned all the way down. We are in double elixir time, and Immortals trying to find a way to break through, have not figured out the rhythm quite yet.
Yeah, SK out to a commanding lead at this moment. Poison does come down, getting great value on the Mega Minion, Ice Golem, Tower, and of course the Inferno.
Good log value, good NATO value, a couple of well-played spells back-to-back for Immortals.
Very, very nice NATO value there.
And there you go, things starting to turn the way of the North American champions. Morten and Sam, though, still holding on to a fairly solid lead.
Yeah, a lot of elixir on the floor. Spent by SK, a lot in hand to defend from Immortals. Now Immortals seem to have kind of figured out the defensive rhythm that they need to be in to stop these pushes from SK. And the Baby Dragon gets a belch on the tower, a big belch.
And a lot of poison value there as well. So Immortals doing a good job in the second half of this game, changing up their spell use and making it pay off.
Yeah. Yeah, and Immortals are at their best when they win the 2v2 set. So this is a big one for them. You know, falling behind SK in the ratings, or in the rankings, excuse me. Both teams at 4 and 3, but SK is on top.
So defensive miner getting in just to make sure there's no battle ram connection, but still a lot of damage. Morten and Sam looking good in a very, very nice spot as we go into the final 2 minutes of this game.
Yeah, about a 600 HP lead over Immortals. Immortals they need to find a way to break through consistently.
Great fireball. That's going to keep the Musketeer completely healthy and on the board for a lot longer. Now Magic Archer in the back.
Yeah, Magic Archer will hit that poison, but gets a lot of value before going down.
Lightning does just enough to stop the first Ram Rider, and Inferno Tower cycles back in to pick up the second.
But that Ram Rider is raged up, does not get on tower. A last-second snowball. Very well played by Immortals.
Activated King Tower playing a big role in helping out in this late defense. About a minute remains. You gotta wonder if Immortals are still thinking for the win, if they're thinking to go for a draw here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a great point you bring up, Rich, and I believe that a draw would be the best case scenario for them in this moment. They've spent so much of this match playing on their heels, playing defense, and right now, that Lumberjack getting in is another huge moment. 50 seconds remain. That is enough time to spell cycle Immortals out if they do not create a big enough offensive presence.
Immortals slowing down, seeing what their opponent's choices are going to be. Final 35 seconds, so Poison does come down.
Yeah, Poison coming down. That's a bad sign for Immortals. SK maybe looking for the finish line.
Immortals decide to go double lava. They do have a Lightning. They can take care of that Inferno Tower. Log back.
Nothing
Lumberjack.
on that Lumberjack. Oh. 15 seconds remain. 414 HP on the tower.
Miner in for Immortals.
No Poison Fireball combo today. SK just trying to stay alive.
Poison, our Fireball does come down. Lightning in for Immortals. Baby Dragon could bounce, gets turned the other way. Immortals nearly steals it. Instead, a draw that could have been a devastating loss for SK.
So once again, the booth is going to have a replay for us, and I'm very happy they're pulling this because I wasn't sure what the wow coming from SK was in this moment, and right now you're going to see it was a heads-up King Tower activation by Immortals.
I mean, this is just beautiful. We talked about that Magic Archer staying on for just 1 HP, and in fact, this might have been the difference that kept Immortals in the game rather than being a benefit for SK. You see the Skeletons come down and just get that Magic Archer to activate the double King Tower. And yeah, that deserves a wow from everybody. Very, very well played by Immortals to pull that out for a draw.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments where I'm like, well, Morten and Sam don't really ever BM, and this doesn't seem like a huge moment. So what a great King Tower activation by Immortals. And yeah, here we go into game number 3. You can see on the left side of your screen, SK took game number 1. We had a draw in game 2. And if we have another draw, or if Immortals wins this game, we will be going to a game 4.
Poison comes down to take care of that flying machine. Baby Dragon sticks it in the Poison range, so it gets finished all the way off.
Royal Hogs coming down.
Royal Hogs, so getting deeper into the season, both in 1v1 and 2v2, the deck's starting to switch up a little bit. A little more difference and fun.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier about it. And you saw in that last game, the last match, there was still a huge ability to snipe your opponents. You saw what Air Surfer did in both those 1v1 games, even if one was an indirect snipe, over when.
Well, Vulcan ran up to the booth for a half second and said, hey, actually, by the way, that was because of those buildings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad that there's that moment between the trust between teammates to just be like, hey, you got a better idea? Let's do it. And right now, these 4 teammates very, very close in damage. SK looking to create some opposite lane pressure, mix things up.
So double Royal Hogs for SK. We'll see if they can continue the success they've had on the right-hand side. Lava Miner again for Immortals.
Yep. It's the deck that Morten and Sam succeeded with in the first game of this set. or archetype. And that one raged up hog on the right side brings that tower below 1,200 HP.
Just one little piggy escapes and can wreak so much havoc, but Poison does just tick in the right amount of time to save a lot of damage in the left-hand lane.
Yeah, that was a big-time tick from that Poison.
Now Akrap and RF lava up near their weaker tower.
Second lava down. Both going to sneak in front of the Mega... Oh, does not sneak in front of the second or the Mega Minion, excuse me.
Good offensive Poison. Will take care of the Magic Archer and the Flying Machine. Miner into tank.
Yeah, and those Skellies not played just the way they're supposed to mitigate all the damage, but Immortals does not care about that Dark Prince on the left because they're trying to take the top right tower. Two Baby Dragon belches in, and a lot more damage came down from that Dark Prince than I think Immortals would have wanted to happen. You saw the Skeletons played a half-second early, not being able to mitigate the entirety of damage from the Prince.
Oh, and not too much spent to keep that from really devastating the left-hand tower, but now Immortals in trouble on both sides, and SK knows where they want to go.
Oh, and look at this. Two Baby Dragons on the tower. One Baby Dragon tanking for the Skellies. Skellies on the tower. This is huge.
Wow. Razor thin line between these two squads now.
Oh my gosh. The one issue here is that SK's win condition costs so much less. It takes so much less time, so much more aggressive than the Lava Hound in Immortals.
And one big shot is massive.
Look at that.
SK Gaming does it in 3, taking the opening set, and a big opening set, and the 2v2 woes continue for Immortals. So opening things off for Immortals in King of the Hill, it's Royal, followed by Lapacati and the God RF. On the other side, Sergio Ramos takes the lead with Sam in the middle and Morten batting cleanup.
Sergio opens with bats in the back, and I like the idea of throwing out Royal up front. Not a lot of pressure on him, and he has not quite found his stride this season.
Flying Machine meets the Mega Minion and Baby Dragon at the river.
A Goblin Hut comes out for Royal.
We have not seen a ton of Goblin Hut this season. And Sergio lavas up on the other side.
And an unfortunate connection from that Flying Machine onto the Goblin Hut as opposed to the Goblin, or the Spirit Goblins itself. And yeah, looks like a bit of a spawner deck coming out.
Might be a Royal Giant deck coming from Royal. We have seen Goblin Hut and Furnace together.
Ooh, and this is going to be tough. Yep, Royal already knows it's a good game. That Baby Dragon being played up high is going to be cannon fodder for that Flying Machine. Flying Machine in, now on the tower, tank port. That is a brutal exchange for Royal, and you know, sometimes you just get caught by those Flying Machines.
And yeah, that Flying Machine continuing to just wreak havoc on the King Tower, so great opening exchange for Sergio Ramos. Tough one from Royal.
Yeah, this has kind of been the story for Royal this season, is he'll start off a game doing pretty well, or he'll start off having great defenses, and then in one moment, things just are all swept out from underneath him. And Royal already knows it's just, there's too big of a mountain to climb at this moment.
Well, to be fair, Royal does have the Goblin Hut, which its buff was billed as the Lava Hound stopper, so is that true?
Oh, and even
unlikely in this situation.
Even Barbarians come in on top of that Royal Giant, almost adding insult to injury. And there's the clone.
Oh, man.
Oh,
just
goodness.
all nasty, all bad here. Really, really brutal. And the Barbarians just kind of put the overall cap at what was already a rough game for Royal.
And you know, Royal defended that tremendously. Honestly, he really, really did. But 30 seconds will not be enough time to defend against this push and take a tower.
I hope people realize I was joking about the Goblin Hut.
Yeah.
Just not going to be able to break through. Well played from Royal. And Lava Clone does it for Sergio Ramos. Game number 1 of King of the Hill in the books for SK Gaming, and right now they are looking as strong as everyone predicted. Royal down, up next, the young star Lapacati.
So Lapacati up against our friend Sergio Ramos, who just had a dominant display over Royal, and most recently Lapacati in King of the Hill. He's actually on a bit of a win streak. Most recently taking him down B-Rad, Tommy, Carnage, Hazard, Thunderstruck, Dark Angel, but he does have 2 losses in there to Wen and Bennyhu.
Miner picked up by the Dark Prince.
Lapacati looking like Mortar. And this could be Giant Double Prince, this could be Giant Triple Spell, and both of those are frustrating for Mortar to deal with.
Pretty well defended, that Giant getting in the way of the Dark Prince for a long time.
Good luck comes out for Lapo. So maybe actually they feel the matchup is the other way around.
Lapacati with a bit of a smirk.
Oh. Look at that.
Well, hello there, princess. Lapacati gets a mortar shot off.
Just in time. Gonna protect that mortar. Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That is a Rascal killer and a half.
Boy.
So now we have the E-Dragon in play that, honestly, the best response for that for Lapacati is the Dark Goblin are surrounding it with the minion horde. Otherwise, the troops are just out there to get eaten up alive. The Rascal Girls, whether it's the Bats, the Goblin Gang, all of them falling pretty quickly to the E-Drag.
Those are some nice shots getting through with the Miner for Lapacati, so. And now Fireball should be in cycle. But does not do its work before that minion horde takes care of the Giant.
Yeah. Minion Horde played very early and very high, not in cycle or not enough elixir in hand for Sergio to take care.
So Lapacati decides to eat that and mortar up.
3 miner hits in. And there you go. There's the Minion Horde coming in. Zap on top of the Minion Horde.
But this is all Lapacati needs, is a couple of mortar shots at a time.
And you know what? That E-Drag out of play. Now the Minions on the tower. This is a huge, huge exchange for Lapacati, and that last shot is massive.
A pretty nasty good luck out of Lapacati. A good game from Sergio Ramos. He knows he just ran into Lapacati. Now, I do like seeing Lapacati go to mortar bait in his first game rather than his second.
Same, I do as well. And you see right here, even with the Fireball, Zap, E-Drag, both Princes and a tanky card up front, Lapacati is able to take this game with ease over Sergio Ramos, the former CCGS World Champion.
I'm going to say the thing that I know every single person watching right now is saying as well. I want to see Lapacati play against Luke Dubs.
We need it. We need it, and maybe even the winner of that can go on and go up against Vulcan with Mortar, but that was picture perfect by Lapacati.
Up next, OB Sam, who has had some pretty solid success in 2v2. But so far has yet to find a win in head-to-head play.
Yeah, a completely opposite story than he told in the first season, where he was 6-1 in 1v1 sets and 7-2 in King of the Hill. So really needing that first win to start him on that downhill momentum that you really need here.
Currently 5-2 overall in his 2v2 sets, so definitely doing a great job contributing to SK, just has not found his 1v1 rhythm.
Yeah, and a big tip of my hat to Sam. You know, he was talking to me the other day after their match. I can't remember exactly which one it was, and he was feeling a little bummed or down on himself because he's been struggling to find his head-to-head rhythm. And, you know, you just take that on the chin and you go and you do a lot of work in 2v2.
So, Mortar Royal Hogs for Sam, maybe a little fun here, going with a Mortar deck up against Lapacati.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting because you know Lapacati has played every Mortar iteration against every matchup, so we'll see who comes out on top here.
One Musketeer shot gets through. So the question here is, OP Sam playing the more standard rocket variation, or did he pay attention to that Earthquake and decide he wanted that as well?
Yeah, that Earthquake play was pretty awesome. Honestly, I love that last second audible from Vulcan. Some fireball value coming in, but does miss one of the archers.
So midway point through regulation, and so far things fairly even. These Royal Hogs will get a few shots on tower.
Yeah. Fireball being out of cycle, which is the best response, and Snowball, both out of cycle.
Dual lane pressure now from Lapacati.
That Rascal Girl doing a lot of work on the right-hand side of your screen.
And Sam deciding, much like we saw Lapacati do in the last game, just go ahead, eat one piece of damage and get a mortar down.
Yep. Musketeer going to be a great response. Archers come down a second late and do take her down with the help of that bar barrel, but a very, very unhealthy mortar remains.
Lapacati doing a good job picking up all the mortar damage there with the Ice Golem, then the Prince behind.
Yeah, and Sam continuing to split his Rascal Girls as they not give too much fireball value. Lapacati really wanting to save his fireball for those Hogs.
Archer Bar Barrel Snowball right-hand side takes care of that push. Will lose the mortar, and now a Musketeer behind the Bandit might get a shot off. Great placement on the Skeletons.
Yeah, Archers get a few shots in on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Ice Golem played to distract that mortar.
And Bar Barrel just barely saves that connection.
Yeah, very, very close with that Battle Ram.
Notice that Sam has been playing this mortar very aggressive. He's been going on offense, has not even considered using that mortar defensively.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we heard Vulcan say it in a post-game interview one time. He's like, anytime you're at 10 Elixir, you should just mortar up, and Sam has done it almost every single time he's hit max Elixir. Ooh, and no splash from that mortar shot on the Prince. Can't get lucky with that sometimes. Maybe now we see the defensive mortar come into play, maybe not. Nope, Bar Barrel is going to be enough.
The single Rascal Girl mixed with a combination of the Archer's Snowball Bar Barrel, it's been doing a great job on that right-hand lane. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, Sam has been doing a great job of splitting his Rascals, splitting his Archers, splitting his DPS so that the dual lane presence just isn't there for Lapacati.
And now chooses the defensive mortar, and Fireball comes in immediately, and I guess the question was that designed to bait out the Fireball and get a good Royal Hogs push in?
It definitely feels like it. You know, as you were saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that mortar on offense hasn't really been working. So Sam looking to fix that or remedy that. And maybe the Fireball bait was the way to do it.
So a minute 35 left. Remember, we are in King of the Hill, so it is lowest single tower. If we stopped right now, Sam would win. If the towers remain the same to the end, Sam will win.
Yeah, and the other side of that is that, or to the point you just made is, yeah, he's looking for Fireball bait because Lapacati knows he needs to get damage on that tower, opening up this lane for his Royal Hog. 6:38 remains.
Ooh.
Oh! And a very nice Fireball, but Sam ready for it. Drops the Rascals.
Yeah, that Fireball came from the future and took out those Archers, but right behind were the Rascals, and really well played. Sam still in a good position, both tower-wise and on Elixir.
So Sam getting very, very close to shutting the door on Immortals' chance to stay alive. Right now, Lapacati looking like he's going to fall. And Sam finally getting that much-needed head-to-head victory that we spoke of at the beginning of this game.
Fireball comes in, but still eats a couple more Royal Hog shots. 36 seconds left.
You see Lapacati just cannot break through, no matter what he does, no matter if it's dual lane, you know, going all in one, turning defense into offense. It's just not happening for him.
Giant Snowball, Mortar, Archers, Bar Barrel. Sam's able to get around so fast and play such efficient defense.
Yeah, and Lapacati gives him the credit. You know, very, very well played by Sam. Nothing like taking down the Mortar Master with Mortar yourself.
Ooh, and it was the Earthquake, and Sam takes the tower. You know, I know that the game was over, but would have liked to see Lapacati protect the tower just because towers do end up being, down the line, I think either our third or fourth tiebreaker. So an all-important first head-to-head win for OP Sam, who had such great performances in King of the Hill last season. This season finally getting in the winner's circle.
Yeah. Yep, that was a big, big-time win for the man on the right side of your screen. Game 4 here, getting started.
The God RF, all that stands between Immortals and a 2-set sweep. And now Sam looking a little spammy.
Yeah. Very spammy. And that is, oh, he's got 6 elixir in hand. Oh, but the Dark Prince turns around and hits the Hunter. So those Barbarians will get on tower. And you see there the God RF recognizing he had the elixir in hand to probably defend, but if he did defend, then he would be at a massive, massive deficit.
First minute down, and OP Sam out to a good start once more. Those ever rare Ice Golem hits. You like forget what the Ice Golem sounds like when he hits something.
Yeah. The God RF 6 and 5 in his King of Hill appearances.
RF Sparky's up, and immediately OP Sam just loads up in the opposite lane.
Oh man, and that is going to be a tower down for the most part. I mean, you still got a very healthy Bandits tanked for by the Barbarian. Dark Prince on tower.
Ooh.
And those minions come in to take out the Sparky. That is devastating.
You know, there's mixed feelings on using a Sparky in single elixir, and we see why right there. As soon as that got played behind the tower, Sam was like, well, I'm going to take everything I've ever had in my entire life and throw it down the opposite lane.
And, you know, you saw RF trying to defend. The Lumberjack did, the Lumberjack did come down. The guards were a second late, and it was just all good night from there. So there is very little hope at this moment for Immortals to take this to our third and final set. But RF can do it.
Going for the Lumberjack to meet the Battle Ram, but that Ram should get a connection.
Yep, and now that King Tower below 1,500 HP. Oh, excuse me, just
boy.
above.
Oh boy, the Hunter does not have enough time. Oh, barely. That retargets.
It gets out of range, however, the Sparky in front of the guards, that was maybe the opening. But RF takes a lot out of that left-hand tower. He now sees his opportunity. Goblin Giant getting in, maybe gonna get some of that rage. Yes, it does.
Can the Goblin Giant get there to get some of those stabs in? Gets one. Not gonna be enough. Final 13 seconds, and that's going to be OP Sam cleaning things up for SK Gaming.
Wow, what a day for SK Gaming. The 2-set sweep over Immortals. 4th place going against 5th. 4th prevails, and Sam gets his first 2 head-to-head wins here at CRL West.
That's got to feel good for Sam, getting back in rhythm. It's been a frustrating start, and great performances here. And again, it was that sellout in the opposite lane. He saw the Sparky early, said, well, you just used 7 elixir. I have plenty to make that hurt. And all it took were the minions to wipe out that 7 off the board.
Yeah, such a massive positive elixir trade there. And, you know, Immortals has to be feeling a little bit deflated. You see their heads hanging a little lower than normal, and it's because they know how good they are. Everyone here knows how good they are, but one thing we've noticed is that this year the competition is a little bit more steep at CRL West, and also as a team, you have to be completely in rhythm to take down these superstar teams like SK.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. The way that all the talent has come sharper into these 12 teams, the level has just risen, and you know, you have matches where you can think that you're ahead, but you have to realize the guys that are across from you are also world-class players.
And, you know, the thing is, too, with Immortals, you know that AC and RF is your best 2v2 duo. You don't really want to mess with that. You want them to just be doing what they did before. However, with Lapakati and Royal struggling right now, Immortals in a bit of trouble.
And then now you have SK Gaming looking so good. So let's hear about that victory. We're going to head to the floor where Seltzer is standing by with our winners.
Thank you guys so much. I'm down here on the floor now with OP Sam, and you cleaned up in King of the Hill there with a really exciting twist. You brought out a mortar deck against Lapakati, the mortar player. How did you decide to do that?
I mean, it has Barbarrel, it has Snowball. It's not a regular mortar deck like he plays. He never played Royal Hogs in a mortar deck. Also, I'm feeling quite confident with Royal Hogs, so I thought it's a good deck choice. Also, I put in Earthquake, because usually you'll play Rocket, but against his decks where he uses Inferno Tower and Mortar a lot, I just thought Earthquake's more useful.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that swap for the Earthquake over the Rocket. That was something that we just saw Air Surfer play earlier on. When did you come up with that? Who came up with that first?
He gave me the idea. I copied it.
You copied the idea from him. Well, that's a really smart move that helped you get the win there. And when it comes to smart moves in deck choices, a lot of people look to you, Sam. So tell me, how has it been designing decks for this season of Clash Royale West when we don't have bans that you're used to designing around?
To be honest, it was pretty bad for me because usually you can ban cards and build decks around that are better. And with no out bans, you can just play the best meta decks. So, yeah.
Well, it hasn't seemed to slow you down. We've got you now cleaning up in the head-to-heads. That was a little difficult for you to do earlier in the season, but last season we saw you crushing it in 1v1. So what changed? What slowed you down earlier on?
I don't know. I feel like it was just a lack of confidence. I mean, this season is a lot harder, a lot more better players. Last season I started with a win, this season I started with a loss and then a losing streak, so I'm really, really happy that I finally got my win.
Well, if you need confidence, you can look at your 2v2 matches. You and Morten have been doing quite well, so give me a little insight into how well that team works and what the magic is there.
Usually we just play for fun and give our best in 2v2. It works out. We built nice decks today, and yesterday we used like pretty nice decks, and seems like it works.
And what is the brainstorming that goes on in the deck building for 2v2? Is that mostly you, or is that an even split?
Well, I create the decks in the first place, and then I give them to Morten, and he like switches out some cards that are better, so basically both of us.
A perfect synergy, and we can see how well it works out with the success of SK Gaming here. Now let's send it up to the casters for a further breakdown.
So apparently it pays off to show up early and watch the guys before you. Sam taking a trick out of Air Surfer's book, and it pays off.
Yeah, I really love that Sam gives credit to Air Surfer on that. And I also love that, you know, Sam's kind of back to doing what he loved to do, which was taking something that was somewhat meta, changing it up a little bit, and succeeding with it. And, you know, he was very forthcoming about the struggles he's had so far this season, but it appears now he's back to his top game.
Well, a lot of players have used bans to pin someone on a deck, maybe try to go for a counter that direction. He always used bans to expand his creativity.
Yeah.
And hasn't had that benefit here, but now 2 in the win column. And of course, as mentioned, the 2v2 play has been great, and I love the idea of how he builds the deck. Morten changed it up. So great play for SK, but we have one more. Coming up next, it's Queso facing off against the new and improved Cream. Our final match for this Saturday features 2 teams, both kind of on the bubble right now. Team Queso has turned around their season a fair bit, and Cream looks like they're a brand new squad with the addition of their 2 late players.
Yeah, I don't know if any team is more anticipated to watch play again than Cream after that dominant showing they had earlier. Luke Dubs came surging into the league. We didn't even get to see Código, who was supposed to be the better head-to-head player, which I can't even imagine at this point.
So this is a very exciting way to end our day. Yeah. One of these 2 squads will take a big step forward, the other a big step back.
So you have here Cream Esports coming off that big win over Dignitas. On the other side, Team Queso just taking down the North American champions of late, Immortals.
So Queso led by their new 2v2 specialist. Azili's currently at 8-0 in the opening set. He's found a fantastic home with his partner Benihoo, and you see Termisfa giving a little love to that Queso logo.
Yeah, I mean, who would have ever thought that Azilius would break out to be the 2v2 player that he is today? And of course, other than Benihoo and Azilius, you've got Dark Angel and Kuchiku. Kuchiku and Benny starting off as the 2v2 duo. Now Kuchiku, the head-to-head specialist for the Cheesy Ones in blue.
You know, I really think you have to credit a lot of Termisfa and Furrier and the whole organization. They can take any player and get the best out of him, and that's what they've done time and time again, as it seems like half of professional Clash Royale has been on their squad. On the other side, it is Cream Esports, and you can see there the giant stack. They had to rent 2 vans, I think, to get their whole team here. Lindsay, Diego E, Jose Brian Flash, and finally, Luke Dubs and Código. Hopefully we get a little graphic in there for them. You see on the bench, not even enough room for everybody.
Yeah.
Some guys have to go wait outside and hope they don't get a sunburn. This is Cream versus Queso. Let's go. So here we go, final match of the day, and as you can see, Team Queso sticking with Benihoo and Azili, seeing if they can run that score up and improve Azili's record to 10-0 in 2v2. Other side, after a great outing last time out, Luke Dubs and Jose Bryan come out again. Luke Dubs currently at 5-0 overall in his win rate across all sets.
Yeah, just an incredibly dominant display in his CRL debut, which is not the case for many players. They feel the pressure of the lights, not Luke Dubs. And you see Azili's immediately raising his hand.
So we'll see if there was an issue there. Right now, just working on the defense against this graveyard push.
And another hand up from Azili, so you can imagine that there is definitely an issue going on. A man that's been playing so perfect here in 2v2, he knows how important this set is for him and for his team. And right there you see the perfect use of the skeletons to pull a Dark Prince and mitigate 100% of the damage.
Cycling a log, first minute away.
Nice high Dark Prince played in defense by Team Queso, not allowing it to tank for those skellies.
And a King Tower activation. And you see Azili is raising his hand one more time.
So just trying to let the officials know every single time he's having an issue. Not trying to beat a dead horse.
Which is rude, by the way. The horse is already dead.
I know, and I don't understand why that became a thing, but we're trying to stop it here at CRL West.
Giant Skeleton picks up the Dark Prince, but can't pick up all those skeletons.
No, it cannot. And so Azili's kind of chuckling to himself now, like, well,
I guess
maybe this is helping me out, but the hand goes up again. So despite having a massive lead over Cream.
Remember, Cream did raise a hand early in the game as well, so either way this goes, we might be looking at a replay.
And we get a NATO freeze, bringing everything together. Skeletons on top of the tower. The log, however, taking them all down. Musketeer focusing on the baby dragon skeletons is all that was needed to take it out.
Dark Goblin cleaned up the back of that, but the front end of that graveyard getting the tower way, way down. So Team Queso not far away from finishing this one.
And an aggressive giant skeleton at the river. You know that's going to be followed with the graveyard. The Inferno Tower comes down, coupled with the King Tower activation, should be very easy defense.
And now we get the graveyard in the opposite lane.
Yep.
Freeze comes in.
And that freeze actually takes care of the Musketeer as well as the King and Princess Tower, so a very good freeze from Cream.
Might see a poison coming from Team Queso fairly soon, so graveyard comes down. Freeze comes in a little early.
And the Dark Goblin hiding out behind the King Tower, now within poison range. There's the poison, and I'm sure a lot is going to be said between game 1 and game number 2 here.
So we are back for game number 2 of 2v2.
And just to remind you at home, that first set did go to the Cheesy Ones. That first game.
That first thing they did with their thumbs on phones.
So Luke Dubs experiences his very first loss here at CRL.
Whoa, and a really aggressive Royal Giant right to open at the bridge.
Yeah, supported with a baby dragon. And on the other side, that's going to be a dead Inferno Tower.
Yes, it is, and Lava Hound does get on the tower. Poison to take care of the Dark Goblin, and it does it just in time for that pop.
Yeah, and that pop will get a lot of damage in on that Princess Tower, even without any other support.
You see Luke Dubs a little annoyed with that situation. And it is Graveyard Royal Giant, so mixing things up is Cream Esports.
Yeah, they're like, let's just take all the win conditions that have worked in 2v2.
Ram Rider next.
Look at that baby dragon just getting all the splash damage on top of that Dark Prince that just looked lost on the battlefield.
He was just trying to get back there and get one more skeleton, but everything was turned around every which way, and now Cream in a significant lead.
Inferno coming down. Mega Minion will be going to tower.
Mega Minion should get at least one shot. No, Giant Snowball comes in just in time.
And that is the correct decision. Already at 812 HP, you do not want to put that tower within a comfortable spell cycle.
Miner in, taken for some pups.
That time a much cleaner defense by Cream.
As we get closer to double elixir time, Cream has recovered from the initial trouble that they experienced on their right-hand side, and with a little bit of luck, and some say it's better to be lucky than good, they got a lot of extra damage on that left-hand tower.
Yeah, I mean, again, that Dark Prince just could not get away from the tower and could not get to the skeletons fast enough, and just really assisted the Baby Dragon of Cream to get a ton of splash damage.
But here we go. Team Queso firing back down to 567. Dark Goblin coming in to try to support that graveyard push, but met at the bridge by a Mega Minion.
Yeah, very, very nice high Mega Minion there. Going for that same interaction you have with the Musketeer, where the skeletons tank for your higher DPS unit that is ranged.
And the raged up Mega on the right-hand side takes that tower for Team Queso in the 1361. So now Team Queso has to be careful on both sides, especially as we go deeper. And Cream takes a lot of damage on their healthy tower.
Yeah, so not gonna fall is Team Queso's tower without some help from spells. They gotta get that fireball down.
Graveyard in, poison in. Oh no, that's a defensive poison in, so fireball comes in. That is not gonna be if they need one skeleton to hit, and it does!
The one savior skeleton for Cream keeps them alive, and now we're at a very, very close game again.
Someone buy that skeleton in an ice cream cone. He did a good job.
Hate to break it to you, Rich, he's dead.
The dead can enjoy ice cream.
We see this bomb gonna take care of that Lumberjack, but not in time. All the chopping is necessary. All the chopping that was necessary is done on that Royal Giant.
Baby Dragon picks up the Mega Minion, prevents another shot. Right now, Team Queso has the lead on both towers, so a lot of options for the Spanish team.
And now you see the Dark Prince coming down a second late, trying to pick up the aggro from that Inferno Tower. Now gonna do a little bit of tankage, though, for the pups.
And you gotta wonder if that communication there was Luke Dubs and Jose Brand going, ah man, we shouldn't have both played that Fireball and Giant Skeleton. A bit of an overcommit on defense.
Yeah, for sure. Although this Giant Skeleton will get its death damage to the King Tower.
Wow.
Hopefully that does not come back and become a difference maker for Team Queso. We got a big push coming in on the top left here.
And a second Lava Hound comes in
the pocket. This is gonna be a Team Queso set sweep. Look at that.
Wow, you see Jose Brand very, very upset. Gesturing to Luke Dubs, that's going to be it. Team Queso takes it in 2, and Azelis remains unbeaten in the opening set. Coming up first for Team Queso, it will be Azelis, continuing that run he's had with his 2v2, hoping to bring it into King of the Hill, followed by Dark Angel and, if necessary, Benihu. Luke Dubs leads off for Cream Esports, and we might see the debut of Codigo in that #2 spot, and then Lince as the cleanup hitter.
Yeah, because even if Luke Dubs sweeps again, which who knows, after that display, who knows what he could do. That earlier today, that was just so incredibly impressive. But Codigo will most likely pop into that 1v1 set, and we're all dying to see him out on the battlefield.
Giant behind.
Yeah, he looks like he's showing signs of double Prince. And there we are, both on the field. The zap, you saw Azelis kind of tilt his head, maybe not exactly what he was trying to accomplish there.
Yeah, and that Dark Prince is going to help out with those barbs as well. Fireball in, and this is going to be quite a bit on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and the one thing you have to recognize is how much elixir Azelis just spent, and he still has a 2 elixir lead. So Luke Dubs definitely feeling the heat.
Azelis throwing out the Kuchiku emote.
I forgot about that.
So both players taking a moment to reset. Good opening sequence for Azelis, but not that far ahead.
Yep, so Azelis decides to Giant and Prince back up. because he's happy to repeat that same interaction.
Giant double Prince triple spell.
One of my least favorite matchups out there.
And a solid defensive lightning. Very, very well played by Luke Dubs.
Princess emote.
It's so funny how calm they keep their faces while they're throwing emotes.
I know, I would definitely, you figure there'd be like a smirk or maybe a look over, but like now the emote will do all the talking, and look at that fireball value.
Gets it done nicely, and now again trying to get these princes to tower.
And no.
Ooh, not a single hit, so very well played by Luke Dubs.
Yeah, that was incredibly impressive.
And now he finally Royal Giants.
I even heard our friends Manu and Koji kind of freak out in that moment.
And that's a lot of Royal Giant damage getting in.
Yeah, Luke Dubs is now taking the lead, and if he's figured out how to defend against these Giant double bridge pushes, Azealis is really going to have to figure out how to alter his offense, because right now what he's doing doesn't seem to be working anymore.
Well, he's giving a ton of lightning value every single time, and while those are all three very tanky troops, he's getting the shield off the Dark Prince first.
Yeah, which is a very, very amazing attention to detail by Azealis there.
Barbs down, and Fireball will take care of a lot, and you can see Luke Dubs not happy with that one.
Yeah, E-Wiz, all the barbs and getting a big hit in on that Royal Giant. So that overcommit could give Azealis the window that he needs to break through, and he's going to start by building a big push. That's what you do with Giant Double Prince.
2 minutes left, and now you see Azealis starting to split the lanes and throw some pressure in the opposite direction.
I was coughing, but I literally was just about to say that maybe he'll actually split lane pressure now, because doubling down on Princes in the single lane just hasn't been paying off for him. All the stuns and the barbarians.
Ooh, gets down to a second Giant.
That is a lot coming in.
This is a crazy significant push. Fireball into the last of those barbs, and now Giant on the tower.
Oh, that's it right there. Azealis knows it. You see that E-Wiz come down, the desperation E-Wiz from Luke Dubs, and he knows he got outplayed just now.
Azealis really playing at his best level now, and it is great to see.
So Codigo making his CRL West debut for Cream Esports, going up against Azealis, who has just been on a tear as of late.
So we will see finally in the West. For those of you who didn't follow LATAM last year, Codigo really played out of his mind for his squad, kind of carried them a lot of the season, and now in a position with a stacked roster around him to make a run at those top 6.
One thing that's fascinating about these two teams is they both have 7 matches in hand, which is how many matches Complexity has won. Team Queso is 3-4, Cream 4-3.
And E-Wiz, very well timed. So Codigo playing some very crisp defense against the bridge spam of Azealis. First minute down. Everyone's still looking clean.
Yep, Dark Prince is looking to meet each other on Codigo's side of the map. You know that Codigo secretly wants to show up his teammate and have a better debut, if that's even possible.
Nice giant snowball, and we still remain clean on both sides.
Yep. Something Azealis saw there did not make him happy, but still doing just fine.
Ooh, and the P.E.K.K.A gets down at the very, very last second.
Yeah, I thought that it was a tower connection sound, but then Mama P.E.K.K.A sneaks in there to save the day.
And finally, a tower takes a hit of damage, courtesy of the poison.
Yeah, great poison value there from Azelis, taking out both those units. This Mega Minion will just take one tower shot. Oh, two, excuse me.
So enter a double elixir time, and finally the Giant does come out for Kodigo. And a very nice miner to the E-Wiz.
Right on top of the E-Wiz. However, that E-Wiz will not prevail due to that zap, which was a very, very good play by Kodigo. You do not want that stun active when trying to defend against this big push that's coming in.
Azelis, though, now has the opportunity to open up with some dual lane pressure. Battle Ram does not quite get a connection.
P.E.K.K.A was tanking for the Battle Ram, but it did not connect. One Barbarian on the tower doing a good amount of work, though, because the P.E.K.K.A is still tanking. This is huge.
Oh, my gosh, and that Giant got shredded as well.
Wow. All things going Azelis' way today. And the Bandit connects on the right, just to add a little insult to injury.
Azelis playing beautiful Clash Royale in this game.
Yeah, and I truly believe it has a lot to do with confidence, Rich. You feel like you just don't have it anymore after you just come out and you have a rough start, but that 2v2, that set change for him, that the role change for him has changed so much. Now little BMing coming out. I don't care.
To the back?
Yeah, I don't care who you are. That laugh from the King is always a BM.
So that miner just kind of hanging out in the back, getting a ton of damage. A little surprising.
Actually almost evening things up. Fireball comes down.
And Azelis got very low on elixir, just didn't have any good way to respond, but now pouring it on at the bridge. Defensive miner trying to stop this assault.
Yeah, and that E-Wiz is just wreaking havoc on the tower. 563 remains.
Kodigo picks up the Dark Prince. Bandit in response to the Prince.
Yep, gonna give a nice positive elixir change for Azelis. He's gonna back up that Bandit with a P.E.K.K.A and an E-Wiz.
Wow, a high P.E.K.K.A again. And this time a kite opposite lane with the Giant. And the P.E.K.K.A is tanking for the Battle Ram. Miner has to come in to keep those barbs off tower.
Yeah, once again, that Mama P.E.K.K.A doing a great job of just tanking for Azelis. That's been its main role in this game, is just being a tank for other units to come through, and she's been doing it beautifully.
And Azelis eats one shot from the Miner. Final minute 20. Can Kodigo get this back in control and make this a positive CRL West debut, or will Azelis get a second King of the Hill win in a row?
Yeah, over the two newcomers. This is also a moment where Azelis needs to recognize where he's at, not get too aggressive. He's got such a massive damage lead that in the next 60 seconds, he doesn't want to get too aggressive and let Kodigo catch up, if that's even possible, but it's not
E-Wiz
right
will
here.
get on tower.
Yep.
That's going to be it. Azelis takes down 2 in a row. Luke Dubs, Kodigo, 1 more to go. So a pretty tough matchup there for Kodigo, running into that P.E.K.K.A with his Giant, but still very well played by Azelis, playing nice and clean, and looking right now to have a full clean day, 5 games in a row. The only one who could stop that right now is Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay, who's had some great showings overall, mainly in his 1v1 sets. He's 3-0 in 1v1 sets, which is incredibly impressive.
Lindsay did a lot of work to get his team where they are without their last 2 players available. You know, so now you think, hey, the pressure's off, but now we're back here where the pressure is once again on.
Yeah, Lindsay gonna try to do everything to keep his team alive and prevent a 2-0 set sweep from Queso over Cream Esports. Just a reminder, Team Queso is in 8th, Cream is in 5th.
Well, Lindsay not only has to get through Azelis, but then Dark Angel and Benny who to preserve that. So try to get a good start here and then see what you can do.
So far looking a lot like Royal Giant.
And the Fire Spirit's getting the better of it for Lindsay.
And a second Furnace comes down for Lindsay at the top of your screen, really going all in on the left-hand tower.
And Azelis just decides, nah, we're not doing that. Gets the lightning down. But now that does put him pretty significantly behind on Elixir.
And then, and the Royal Giant played in the back to try to create a big push. Azelis follows suit. We'll see if that pays off.
Well, and he also, Lince knows that with Lightning out of cycle, he can get a lot more behind his Royal Giant
he can stack,
than normally.
Yeah, he can stack a Mega Minion, he can stack an Ewas comfortably.
And Barbs will do a number on the Royal Giant of Azelis.
And a lot to clean up here for Azelis. Lucky does hit double Elixir time, but a big time Lightning, and that is a ton of damage on the tower.
Yeah, there you go.
That's tower down.
And this might be the end of Azelis' run.
Lince very, very pleased with himself. That all started with the Lightning.
Oh, you want to talk about the Lightning, and then you want to talk about matchup. Those Barbarians, just no excellent answer in the deck of Azelis.
Other than the high Furnace followed with a Barb Barrel, which is a very, very tough move to execute, especially once your opponent is aware of what cards you have in hand.
Yeah, but again, then you're spending 6 on 5 at that point.
Yep. It's the only way to protect your win condition is to do a -1 Elixir trade, which is not devastating in double Elixir, but anytime you're at an Elixir deficit, it's never good.
So Cream needs 3 wins from Lince. 1 down, 2 to go. Very well played, and it's nice to see the guy shine here, even with the other big stars having arrived to his squad. So Lince has done the first part of his journey, but next up for him, Dark Angel, who currently sitting at 5-8 overall in head-to-head play, but he has had some pretty fantastic moments so far this season.
Definitely. And Lince here trying to keep calm after having a nice and easy victory. Favor that a lot, or credit that a lot to the very favorable matchup.
And interesting, Hog Rider gets aggressive, will get at least 1 shot.
Hog Rider guards.
So good open for Lince and a nice kite on the Prince.
Yeah, I was going to say he probably wishes he had those guards in hand, but not necessary. A very nice kite.
So this might be that Inferno Tower Musketeer. Oh, we're seeing, no, okay. It's going to be the Hunter instead.
Rascal split in the back. Dark Angel might be going to one of my favorite places.
Yeah, it's starting to feel that way.
Inferno does come down. Miner going to go to the side here to try to tank for that Rascal Girl.
And Dark Goblin tries to do something about that Inferno Tower, but not going to be much.
Yeah, Lince calls him out on that. Dark Goblin can hit the Inferno without being in range. There's your mortar.
There it is.
My mortar.
It's everyone's mortar. And everyone's mortar does not get a single shot on tower. Halfway through regulation, and at the moment, Lince playing very well.
Yeah, that Ice Golem was kind of a protective play just in case the mortar did target the tower, as it was played in that spot. That is, you know, that's one of the nice things about this matchup for mortar is that when you're going up against the win condition of a Hog Riders, you can vary where you're going to be dropping it. Always hard to predict the spell placement, and still able to get damage on the Princess Tower with many of those placements.
But another quick Hog Rider gets in and does some significant damage right-hand lane. Miner not touched, but still feels like Lince came out pretty well from that one.
Yep. Hunter in up high to take out that mortar, and Dark Angel's going to have to really kind of put together a sequence of events that allow him to connect the mortar to the tower, or he's going to have to figure out how to get the Miner damage in.
Very nice lightning.
Yep.
And there should be enough for Lince to defend here.
So we go mortar in the left-hand lane. 1 snowball cleans up the entire push. Very well played.
Oh, but the Hunter just stops the Prince from connecting.
Oh, and the Dark Goblin does stay alive, however. Will be able to support this mortar. Cannot get an Inferno down to distract, and that is still just chipping away at the tower of Lince.
Wow, Miner and Mortar doing their work on that left-hand side. Lince now forced to stop everything with the high Inferno Tower.
And I love the play of the bats there to try to preserve the health of the Prince. Gonna ignore that Hog Rider, allow it to have a couple swings.
That's a few big swings, though.
Still the healthier of the 2 towers. And you never want to play into the mortar if you're a Hog Rider player.
But the nice part about this on the back end, Andrew, is it does give Lindsay the option to go both lanes finally.
It sure does.
And look at that. Gets around the mortar and the Prince. Great connection, great lightning. Suddenly Dark Angel in trouble.
Yeah, Lindsay back in the lead now. A big time push. This is a huge push.
Down to 463. This is a wild one.
So now Dark Angel probably should just be going for defensive mortars and minor chip damage. That seems like the safest way to walk away with the victory, but he's going to go aggressive.
Plays it high, and the Inferno Tower does get a connection on that mortar.
Dark Goblin going to assist on that Barbarian.
And Lindsay just doesn't have the elixir at the moment to punish the mortar being out of cycle.
Oh,
and now the mortar comes down left-hand lane.
I do
comes to the
not like that mortar play. One hog hit in. Mortar will connect.
That's a big connection.
And the
Barbarian swing as well.
Oh, that's going to do it.
Oh, boy. Dark Angel takes out Lindsay and secures the win for Team Queso.
What a back and forth battle there. Lindsay seemed like he was playing a little uncomfortable towards the end of that game, despite catching Dark Angel off his guard a couple times. And Team Queso takes a big 2-set sweep over a Cream team that looked indestructible just a little while ago.
And this is what we talked about a little bit top of the show. It's the staff of Team Queso does one thing beautifully, and that's get the best out of the players on their team.
Yeah.
And that's why they've been such a huge force in Clash Royale for such a long time, is they know how to mine the gold out of everybody.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Every single one of the players that come on this stage throughout the entire season is an incredibly gifted Clash Royale player.
That's a big win for Team Queso. A loss could have been detrimental today. Instead, moving to even and now moving themselves really smack dab into contention for that top 6.
Yeah, I mean, them and Cream are now tied, and Team Queso taking down Cream should give them the edge, but we'll find out as we get to our standings. But I am just so impressed and happy for Azealis, honestly.
He's really playing well and finding a home in the 2v2 and the way that's translated into playing a little more fluidly. He had some good matchups today in the King of the Hill, but still played them very well. And this is a different Azealis than we saw last season.
And all of a sudden, that makes the roster of Team Queso that much more threatening. Someone that appeared to not really have the head-to-head play that they used to, now just being a force in the game.
So here we go, heading down to the arena where Rachel is standing by with Azealis.
Thank you, guys. I'm down here on the floor now with Azealis from Team Queso, and you guys had a hell of a sweep. You nearly cleaned it up entirely for your team, busting out a double victory in the 2v2 and really powering through the King of the Hill. But I want to bring it back to 2v2 and talk about you and Benny Hu. Tell me what he's like as a 2v2 partner.
Benny Hu is fantastic as a 2v2 player. We got really good synergy together. I not only train with Benny Hu, like we are all training together for improve and this kind of stuff, and we are doing really good together on stage. And for the moment, it works. It's nice.
It's working out great for you. You are undefeated in 2v2s right now, and I'm wondering a little bit about the team decision to go with you and Benny Hu as the 2v2. How did you arrive at that choice?
After some training, we see that we did really well together, and we thought it was the best option to go with, and we just keep it, because we are winning everything for the moment.
You have, as I understand it, a sports psychologist on your team, lots of other people looking out for you. Tell me about all the people who work behind the scenes for Team Queso.
Actually, we have 3 analysts who are not with us in LA, but with us we have Termiswa and Fuyer, our coach and our manager, who's doing a really great job supporting us, helping us with everything with the game and not with the game, everything outside the game too, and it's just perfect. I feel really good on this team.
And about you as a player, we have people in the stands, fans saying, and our casters as well, that you are a brand new player this season at CRL West. You have renewed passion, renewed focus. Would you say the same about yourself, and why is that?
I think I improved a lot in a really quick time, because like I kind of stopped the game for some months in the off season because of some personal things. And I restart, and everything is going better and better every day. I just want to continue like this and hoping for the best.
I hope you can continue like this. Currently undefeated in 2v2, doing a great job for Team Queso. Thank you so much, Azealis. Now let's send it back up to the casters to wrap up the day.
Thanks a lot, Rachel. And Azili's confirming what we already knew, the support staff behind him so valuable, and he's really feeling comfortable with his new team.
Yeah, he sounds like a true seasoned vet up there and giving so much credit to his team for all the things that they've been doing, which is taking their players and all the personalities, working things around and putting them in the best position to succeed. And now Azili's is excelling. He's beyond succession.
We talked about taking some time off, and now he's getting better and better each week. As we reach towards the midway point of the season, I'm scared to see, as we go to the back end, how good he actually gets. And here were today's results. SK Gaming opened up the day with a 2-0 sweep over Tribe.
Yeah, a lot of sweeps happening. Next up, we have Cream Esports in the massive debut of Luke Dubs taking down Dignitas. Then we have #1 Complexity taking out Pain Gaming at #2. SK sweeps Immortals, and then as you just saw, Team Queso sweeping Cream Esports, where we saw Código's CRL debut.
So a big win for Complexity to pull even further ahead of the pack now at 7-1. But what that also means is the middle of the pack gets even tighter. And with teams only having 3 or 4 games left in hand, this is getting really close.
Yeah, it is insane. Complexity's at 7-1, and we're going to see a lot of records evened up here. So in second and third place, 5-3 is SK Gaming and Pain Gaming. Right behind them is Fnatic at 4-3, and then we have Team Queso at 4-4, as well as Immortals and Cream Esports, 5, 6, and 7, all at 4-4. You got Tribe Gaming and Team Liquid tied up at 3-4, and then as we get to the bottom, all 3 teams, 10th, 11th, and 12th, have a record of 2 and 5, most likely saying goodbye to their playoff hopes.
So a lot of teams with a lot left to be decided. We might come down to some tiebreakers when it comes to deciding who makes it into that top 6 and where you get in that top 6, which is so important. So don't miss a moment. Tune in with us every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. on the East, Saturday and Sunday, 10 in the West, 1 p.m. if you're in New York, Miami, Boston, D.C., North Carolina, South Carolina, any Carolina that you could possibly want to visit. I'm Rich Slayton. That's Andrew Guy. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, ring that bell so you get notifications. And I just saw another baby dragon. I think I tripped over, it hurt my shoulder. So if you guys could clean that up before next week, that would be really nice.
Yeah.